It's the HRL World Series, Game 3 through 5, potentially, if needed. It's the Grasshoppers traveling to Egan, to Carnelian Field to take on the representatives out of Egan, the Vibes. Two teams, gladiators of the sport, a season entrenched in blood, sweat, and tears. It all comes down to this, a 2-0 lead for the Grasshoppers, and they could end the season as we know it tonight. The Vibes might have something to say about that. Alongside with me tonight is 4-time HRL champion, 4-time Cup winner, Mippy 5. I am 4-time World Series watcher, Jiz, and we are in for some great action here tonight, Mippy.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
Hey, I appreciate that. That's some of the best analysis you can get in the biz here. Probables for Game 3 here tonight. Vibes, the home team, for all 3 games, if needed. We'll have Nightmare on the bump for the Vibes, wearing that baby blue. Opposite of them, expected, is Cakes, wearing the cautious orange. Whoa. A caution that the season could come to an end for both teams here tonight as we look to possibly close out the 20th year of the HRL. Is this a matchup that you feel is fitting of the 20th year anniversary?
You know, I think it's probably the best 2 teams facing off against each other. The Vibes with a miraculous run through Wiffapalooza. I would say they would say it was a disappointing regular season on their part, but they made a run through Palooza. And if they could choose where they were at the beginning of the season to end up, I think they would be happy to be right here.
Yeah, and nobody at the field tonight in attendance is upset at all that they are not participating. It's clearly the best 2 teams out of both cities. There's really not much that you can ask for as a fan of HRL wiffle ball. Pitching matchups. Cakes versus Nightmare. We've seen what Nightmare can do throughout his career, but I think the emergence in this 2023 season from Cakes to the Grasshoppers has been that of a... Miraculous is not the word I'm maybe looking for, but just the dominance he's displayed on the mound through the regular and postseason has been maybe unprecedented. Don't you agree?
Well, that was the one question mark going into the season for the Grasshoppers, is could they find pitching? We all knew they were the best hitting team in the league. It wasn't even close. Their Achilles heel was going to be their pitching, and ironically enough, it's been their pitching that's carried them through the playoffs this year with the emergence of Cakes. Not only Cakes, though, but Grizz.
Yeah, Grizz was a very happy surprise, I would imagine, for the boys in orange tonight in their city's finals matchup. They got a fantastic game out of Grizz on the mound, and he repeated that performance back on Monday night in Game 2 against the Vibes, pitching a shutout with a 1-0 win for the Grasshoppers to secure a 2-0 lead in the World Series. We'll have to see if he can bring some of that swagger back to the mound here for Game 4.
Yeah, he's developed a new pitch, which is key. The drop pitch. We had not seen it during the regular season.
No, clearly.
And it was clearly the difference. We were lost.
Yeah, clearly we did not see it earlier in the season. Is that a mid-season adjustment, do you think, or was that just a veteran move there by the crafty Grizz to hide his arguable best pitch for when it mattered most?
It's just them playing chess, and the rest of the league was playing checkers, while we thought we were playing chess during the regular season, and we ended up with the egg on our face. A big goose egg, if you will.
Let's walk through this lineup here from top to bottom, starting off with arguably the most notable figure wearing orange tonight in number 23, Tyler Flackney, aka Smallpox, 2020 NWLA Player of the Year for that National Wiffle League Association tournament. He recently was featured on ESPN 8 The Ocho back in the middle of the summer with a fantastic performance in the NWLA All-Star game that was broadcasted around the nation. What does a guy like that bring to any lineup in this league?
Well, the joke is, or has been, that Smallpox peaked in 2020. He had an unreal 2020 season, winning the national championship, number 2 player of the year, carried the Dong Show. Nobody thought it could get any better than that. And 2023, he maybe is proving those haters wrong. Like you mentioned, hitting a massive tank on ESPN The Ocho. Having another solid season. I think it's definitely not been his best offensive season here, but it's still one of the best in the league compared to the others. But I look for him to really explode. Arguably one of the top 3 hitters in HRL history, if not 2 or 1.
And not too far behind him in that batting order, number 25, Babyface. So I think a lot of players in Hopkins penciled in as their yellow slammer for the year. That's a heck of a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pen that in. If anyone's not voting for Babyface for yellow slammer, then you got some insider trading going on or something, because it's arguably one of the best offensive seasons of all time. It's a tough number 2.
And they have a lot of guys that not just hit for power, but are also able to move station to station and really work the base path with that speed. Talking, of course, about Fish. I don't have the stats on hand, but he had to win up there in doubles for the league this season.
Maybe. I haven't checked.
I know he had about 4 against the Chihuahuas just in one game alone last season. So deceptive speed. Yeah. I know we saw firsthand about a week and a half ago what he can do with those kind of balls to the gap and just stretching a guaranteed single into a risky double. So
yeah, if you look at him, you're like, wow, that person looks very slow. Like, not only physically, but also a little bit mentally.
Not the most aerodynamic.
It is surprising that he was able to stretch those singles into doubles.
Let's flip things over here to the team in the field, the hosts for the evening events. The Vibes. You know, some of these.
Mention Cakes in the batting order. Just forget about him.
We talked about his pitching. Let's talk about his pitching.
All right.
And I also didn't mention Bruce. We were talking about his pitching.
You're right.
Come on now. We got to spread the love around here, and I think with that love comes with some good vibes. First off, you know some of these guys more than others. One, you grew up playing with Commissioner of the League of the HRL, Huck Finn, but also another member of the Vibes is actually potentially in the future a part of the Thompson family.
Well, that's news to me. Jeez.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Epstein, you never know. He might put a ring on it.
Might end up dating my sister or something like that. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, there was a joke there. It didn't really come out the way that I anticipated. Try to keep it respectful, but But let's talk about Fish Huck. An insane average. Just absolute insane average hitting throughout the season. There's not a way that me or you personally can vote for any Egan awards, but if we had to say, I would imagine most improved would go to Fish Hook.
It'd be top 7 for sure for me.
Absolutely.
Probably number 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a couple key contributors rank above him.
The thing to watch out for tonight is Nightmare going to show up? Watching the live stream, it seems like he didn't even show up on Monday. He was invisible out there, and in order for the Vibes to have any chance of making this a series, Nightmare needs to show up. He did just take his 25 minutes of warm-up pitches after his 25 minutes of batting practice, so
yeah, I've been getting a little restless. I'm trying to think of more stuff on the spot, but now that I see him picking up balls to actually let the game start, I feel a little relieved. I'm not sure about you.
I'm excited. 2 great teams, a lot of good guys. You hate to see a team lose. That's part of the game.
Just a recap for those of you who may have missed out on Monday's events. It's a 2-0 series lead for the Grasshoppers as the series shifts to Egan. Game 1, a 3-2 game in favor of the Grasshoppers. 2 dongs by the infamous Grizz. This guy he's known to pitch, he's known to hit, raising his skill level on the pitching side of things this season, and then followed that by a solo home run by Smallpox in Game 2 for the 1-0 win. Things got testy late. Bases loaded in the 6th inning, but Grizz comes up big, secures the shutout, and is able to propel his team to a 2-0 lead. And it looks like we're all set here for Game 3, Mippy. What's your final keys to watch here before we get things kicked off?
I would say the goal should be to score more than the opponent.
Right you are, as we get set here for Game 3. Here's the first look in and delivered. Oh, and it catches that up and outside corner. Is this a sign of things to come for Nightmare? Could he be locked in early? After 25 minutes of warm-ups, it sure could be the case.
He's already cheating right there. That pitch is 65 miles an hour.
Thanks.
Nightmare, a renowned cheater. But, you know.
What happened?
That's why you're the radar gun.
You know, I know he has a tramp stamp that is hidden by his jersey, but right above his behind there, it does have the tramp stamp of "You're not cheating, you're not really trying," and it shows right there. He's not gonna go away from his credo, as they say. So it's an 0-2 look here to small box.
Nice.
Are you trying to intentionally walk him?
Very nice.
Nightmare already getting his first pitch over the speed limit out of the way, so anything from here on out is a ball. As he hits a cold strike, a 59 mile per hour sinker for out number 1, and we are off and running here in Egan.
Yeah, 17 outs away from a perfect game. Could we be seeing history tonight? Probably not.
Goes back to the old verbiage of, if you think about it, 2 perfect games is maybe the most boring thing ever. Just zero offense, not really great for as a fan perspective. You're hoping for somebody to just mess up. Stepping in second here for the Grasshoppers, Babyface, as we said, probably the leading hound when it comes to Yellow Slammer votes.
You know, every ball in that bucket.
For the city of Hopkins, as Nightmare decides to discard 1 ball. And here's the fire. That one rocks in there at 64. 1-0 the count here to Babyface.
Very easy to throw over the speed limit when you're facing this Grasshoppers team. Adrenaline going, and in order to have any chance of getting them out, you have to be flirting with that speed limit.
And you know that all too well.
Yeah, I threw probably 15 over.
It was a conversation that Merce was having with me. More so he was talking at me as I was focusing on something else, but he was saying, you know, if the speed limit was actually 64, who knows?
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Settling back in here. 0-0 bottom of the first, or top of the first. We have a less than capacity crowd here at Carnelian Park in Egan this evening. Still a lot of good seats available if you want to bring the kids out. Good family fun. Web Gem just arrived, so he may even take off his shirt. It's hard to keep that guy on a leash, that's for sure. Oh, and this one's driven out the left and gone! Early offense here for the Grasshoppers. Had a 1-0 lead top of the first. Off the bat, a Babyface.
Nothing new from the Grasshoppers there, just business as usual, and an emphatic high five. Usually they just go with the subtle handshakes. They're excited tonight. That was a excited high five.
Well, Luke, they know what's on the line here. They're 2 wins away from hoisting a trophy, as this one's popped down the first base line. That one will drift foul. So 1-0 to score. 1 down here in the top of the first. Grizz the batter, as this one's rockin' fired.
Good hold.
1-1. Two and two here off a 65 mile per hour ball. Goes for that low delivery and release point. Can't quite get it off the ground as that one skitters past the strike zone. This one could catch that current up in the stratosphere and gone. An opposite field tank as Grizz doubles the lead. 2-0 now here in the top of the first. The Grasshoppers bats alive early.
Go 4-5, stay in it.
Back-to-back home runs from Babyface and Grizz. Now, Mippy, with your pitching experience here, what's maybe the mindset out there from Nightmare? Back-to-back tanks. It's not like they're not good hitters. We spent the entire pregame show discussing how prolific they are at the dish, but
probably just a lot of holding back tears at this point.
Absolutely. This segment brought to you by Kleenex. Did you just get broken up with? Kleenex.
A strikeout from Nightmare as he settles back in.
Good response there.
When I usually go out on the wiffle ball field, I feel like I'm the best player out there, but facing the Grasshoppers is the only time I'm like, ooh, I don't know, I might have to play perfect in order to have a chance here. And Nightmare might have to do the same thing.
Well, he does have a good response there with a strikeout to Jake Fish for out number 2. Now stepping in, Cakes. As we mentioned, he has emerged as the pitching commandant here for this Grasshoppers side. He'll look to get in on the offense. Nobody on, top of the first. 2-0 your score.
D in the building. We're up to 15 fans now. We might be pushing 20, up to 6 viewers.
HRL Hall of Famer D making his way into the field.
People watching at home on their phones or on their TVs or whatnot. As Cakes goes down swinging, let us know what the sound is sounding like. We need to turn up our mics. If the camera angle's okay, if the lighting's all right, we can make those adjustments. We can't see everything from our angle, so fill us in the chat. Also, Stash in the chat's giving us the plus minuses on the betting lines tonight. It maybe is too late to get those bets in, but we won't tell anybody if you place a late bet.
What's the thing now? Total home runs, 6.5, over under. Well, you know, Nippy, I gotta say, it might be a little cheating here, but I'm gonna take that over.
I'm gonna take the over now too. Wind conditions are fairly neutral, which you kind of like to see in the playoffs. You don't like to see wind play a massive factor in the games. And as long as the wind's not blowing straight in, both these teams can hit a lot of home runs.
And currently Grasshoppers, after 1/2 inning, covering the spread of 1.5.
Big thing for me with the Grasshoppers is there's a lot of ankle socks on the team. Do you think that's a conscious decision by the team to all like wear matching ankle socks, or do you think it's just a generational thing?
Well, I think it's just that they are a team that they have this aura about them. And when it comes to matching, I don't think that is going to be the case, just because we saw for our series last week, a couple guys potentially tried to get together and do some playoff stashes, and that just wasn't the case. They were able to succeed with 2/5 of the order. However, I was told that the other 3 could not actually grow facial hair, so they had to opt to go with the, no pun intended, babyface, who ironically was actually able to grow a mustache out of those 2.
Oh my god, sign in the chat. I'm taking the over on home runs, by the way.
We all did as well.
It's on the Mickey 5 channel.
It might be, I don't know.
Incredibly low.
Remember that guy who comment all the time?
Yeah, I should have double checked.
Was it?
Yes, this was streaming on the Mippy 5 channel. I didn't double check.
I believe it is the...
I don't think Stash would have been instantly commenting if it was on the Mippy 5 channel.
Continuing to fill out here a little bit. It's a who's who of HRL wiffle ball here this evening.
Wiffle Jesus in the building. Slowly becoming a fan favorite. Really made a name for himself at the All-Star game. Catching that ball in the beer.
That's what I hear.
Diving
I
catch.
think winning nickname of the year last year.
Nickname of the year, as well as Commissioner Huck Finn fills us in on.
Absolute disgrace.
National Wiffle nickname of the year. I did not know that.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was a joke.
Right?
Wiffle
I was gonna
Jesus.
say-
I don't know his real name.
Kind
Yeah.
of crazy that nickname did not win nickname of the year.
We'll take it off.
Rigged. Absolutely rigged for money.
Absolutely rigged. And we head to the bottom of the first.
Just off camera, all the vibes are lining up right behind the strike zone, trying to scout out Cakes. I think someone should just tell him it's going to be slider every time at about 63.
A deceptive 63
Yeah.
here as Epstein sets in, and message sent. First pitch of the
Yeah, I
of
think
the
that's a
outing
little
for
retaliation
Cakes.
from last week.
Goes with another inside slider there, trying to brush him off the plate. No bad blood lost between these two teams.
Here we go.
Just for the sake of safety, I am sure I'm glad that these bats made of plastic and not wood.
They're gonna be there.
It's a great call, Aegis. Great call.
You know, it's a PG audience out there. Falk.
I don't know.
This one catches the end of the bat, and what a start for the Vibes, who immediately get one back. Opposite field tank off the bat of Epstein. And that's exactly the type of performance they're going to need out of that talented young man.
I might just let him date my sister after all. That's a good looking stroke right there.
Hey now.
In terms of the swing. In terms of the swing.
Stepping in here, trailing by one, Huck Finn. That's true. After one batter, Cakes with an infinite ERA in this game.
Is he washed? Some are saying he's washed.
Storyline to watch.
Yeah.
Somewhat of a shift here played against Huck Finn. Grizz with a lineup not directly behind second base, but slightly off to the left. Still batting by the MLB shifting codes. Cakes leaning on that Nestor Cortez-esque delivery where he doesn't really keep the same pacing every time. There's a little hitch, there's a little jump, a little bit of a tickle, and he releases the ball. So it always keeps the batter guessing.
Does that mess with your timing at all?
It sure does.
Okay.
It sure does. If it wasn't apparent last week, it sure does.
Yeah, it does. It messes with you just a little bit. It gets you leaning, gets your routine off just a little bit. And that might be enough to get the batter out.
And we know that this Vibes team is riddled with players that have playoff experience. As Huck Finn draws a walk. Nobody down here. Go ahead run at the dish. Bottom of the first, score is 2-1 in favor of the Grasshoppers. Solo shots by Babyface and Grizz, followed off by a leadoff dong by Epstein here in the bottom of the first.
Big moment here for Nightmare. Try to get the momentum right back. We'll try to get to the bottom of where he was on Monday. Maybe we'll interview one of the Vibes. Hopefully everything's okay though for him to miss a World Series game.
I guess I wasn't aware that he actually missed on Monday, so that's news to me. Personal matter?
So we just got word from
Here you go, Deuce.
HRL insider Dr. Seuss that Nightmare was in Kansas. Well, he's trying to show Cakes that he's not in Kansas anymore.
That's right, Toto, as he looks in here, hoping to help his team out in the bottom of the first. Oh, what a skyrocket ball back at the pitcher.
That'll work.
A productive out as Cakes, wearing his Minnesota Wild hat, puts on his best Devin Dubnyk performance with a kick save there to block that one down. Gets the out at first.
Yeah, that kick save there saves first and third with nobody out. A big knockdown. Maybe you'd like to see Huck try and get to third on that play, but playing it cautious with nobody out.
This one poked out to right, back to the wall, and Babyface settles under for out number 2.
Maybe that's a tag score tie game if he's at third. Maybe not. Babyface got a great arm. Cakes would have been covering home.
As you mentioned a few minutes ago, woulda, shoulda, coulda. One of those we'll have to see.
I love that he picks a guy with a great arm and like offensively.
So 2 down here, runner at second for Catnip. The guy who next year might have to size up that shirt because those biceps are bursting through the sleeves. You can tell he's been hitting that off-season gym program like a maniac. Results clearly showing here. Let's see if he can. Oh, he gets a hold of one. The wind. That one's coming in, and Grizz tracks it down on the run for out number 3. 2-1 after 1. We'll head to the top of the second. Offense aplenty here through 1 inning.
Yeah, if you're Cakes, you're breathing a sigh of relief right there after the leadoff home run walk and then scalding ball right back at him to get out of that with only 1 run. That's a win for the Hoppers.
And I'm sure that does wonders for the mind games. A guy who wants to live inside the head of his opponents, immediately able to calm things down, get back in control, take the reins once again. And he escapes that first inning with a lead for his team. And we'll have to see as the Grasshoppers get back to work here at the dish. I mean, it's not a matter of shutting them down, it's containing them to an extent.
Yep.
You know they're going to hit, you know they're going to score, it's just how many can you allow them?
And with the Vibes, those first 2 games sting because they were in both games. They contained them just how they wanted to, and they were 1 swing away from winning both games, and they just came up 1 run short. So you might wonder, were those the 2 games that they had to steal in order to have a chance in this series? We'll find out.
Exactly. You know, 2 1-run losses. You get shut out in game 2. You lose 3-2 game 1. Already trailing by 1 here. It's if it was any closer, you'd need a teaching to separate you at a Christian school dance. That's for sure.
I was wondering where you're going with that one. Have you ever been separated at a Christian school dance?
I'd never attended a Christian school,
Okay.
so I don't have the best.
See, I did, and I had to get separated doing the Macarena once.
Hey,
Grizz too. Grizz was probably out there Jersey
hey.
turnpiking.
When
He had his cheeks pressed up against a dude. He had him backed against the wall.
people say he's got the liveliest tongue in the league, and
Well, when you got that Grizz in there, it's got a life of its own.
let's just say he's used to chewing.
Good hole, that boy.
3-2 count here to Smallpox. Nobody down. Top of the second.
Here now, 2-3.
Grasshoppers batted around in the top of the first.
Nice, we leave out, great leave out.
Full count here to Smallpox. Defensive lineman Epstein in left field. Fishhook in right. Nightmare on the mound. This one driven out to left, deep and into the pine tree. Gone. Oppo Taco, as he's able to round the bases and he gets in on the party. 4 home runs total now on the day. If you took the under in that home run betting prop, you are sweating.
You just can't breathe with this Grasshoppers lineup. You cannot take a sigh of relief ever.
You know, they're the equivalent of an unhappy spouse in a relationship with a paralyzed significant other. They just want to suffocate you with that pillow. Just to put you out of your misery. And they it's a lot of back-to-back offense. You just like I said, you have to limit them as much as possible.
Once again, wondering where you were going with that one. I wasn't disappointed.
65.
65 despite the go-around from Babyface. Helps him in the count. And Mike draws a walk there.
Yeah, that's the most frustrating thing as a pitcher, when you think you get a strikeout and then you look at the radar gun and you're like, well, and then next pitch, next pitch is either a walk or a tank.
Always seems to be the case.
He did, and then he kind of
3-1 your score.
absolutely. I got a horrible. Oh, that's the guy in the first base.
Yeah, danger zone here for Nightmare on the Vibes right here. Can't let it get away from you, mentally and realistically.
It's a little early for the tailspin. As he sails one up and out of the field.
Yeah, you can tell Nightmare's pressing a little bit, a lot of pitches over the speed limit. I've been there, done that.
That's nice.
As he walks Grizz right here. You just got to take a deep breath and eventually just trust your stuff. They're going to put the ball in play. They're going to hit it. You just have to hope they hit it at somebody and not over the fence.
Nobody down. Top of the second. 3-1 the score. Babyface with a walk. Grizz with a walk. That draws up Fish. Start of the inning began with a leadoff dong by Smallpox. this is a perfect opportunity for the Grasshoppers to extend their lead even more.
Hey, be smart, Fish. Be smart.
If my math is correctly, that is 7 consecutive balls thrown by Nightmare.
Yeah, if you're Fish, you're taking all the way right here.
That one misses high for ball 3.
And you're taking again.
Oh.
And that's one of those things where it's the saying not really what you mean, as they say, be smart. That just says don't swing. Whatever you do, don't swing.
Now we go.
Oh,
Now
and he
we go.
catches one with a flirtatious outside slider.
64, and that's
Another
going to be
cold
ball
strike
5. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Come on, Cakes. Be smart here.
And this could be an at-bat that gets Cakes into the hot zone. He's looking good on the mound so far, escaped that bottom of the first. But if he can get things going on both sides of the ball, a true two-way player, that is going to do wonders for that morale.
Oh, boy.
That one hit down the line.
Right there, right there, right there.
They're going to go station to station, so an RBI single for Cakes. Helps himself out. Still nobody down. It'll be bases loaded. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change here for the Vibes, as Epstein is set to come in for relief. And if there was a plan for the Vibes, they just threw it out the window, Nippy.
Yeah, we saw them do this when they played the Chihuahuas this year too. When their starting pitcher got hit around a little bit, Epstein did come in and he actually shut the Chihuahuas out for 5 straight innings. So Epstein has it in him. He's got the stuff, but this is danger zone time.
Yeah, and this isn't one of those already down 2-0 in the series. It's not a game that you can just chalk up and say you're going to tough it out and we're going to see if we can maybe get you some runs here. You got to make a change when necessary. So Epstein is set to come in. That almost assures that you're going to see a Huck Finn performance in Game 4, barring any surprises on my end. But it's a 4-1 lead for the Grasshoppers here in the top of the second.
That was dirty.
And well, you could say that there's blood in the water.
Oh, surely it is.
If we're gonna make a joke work. Now, Smallpox, while we have a brief moment, I don't want to take you too much out of the game, but tell me what the conversation's like out there in the field between the teammates.
They're taking it really seriously, and they really shouldn't be. It's just wiffle ball. They're having a great time. They're talking about their situation. They're gassing each other up, which I like. But we're just playing wiffle ball. We're having fun.
I mean, that's easy to say coming from a guy that's done it all in wiffle ball. Some of us haven't done it all, so this is our World Series, if you will.
Some of y'all. Someone from you.
Some say this isn't the big leagues, but for those of you that have Thursday nights and the occasional Monday open from roughly 6 to 9, this is the big leagues. Family, friends, agendas are left at the door. It's all about glory. I didn't realize the Jaws theme song was this long and changed it all. I didn't realize there was like a flute that came in.
Alright, so I don't know if you could pick that up on the stream, but in the distance I could hear the Jaws theme song playing. And that might be foreshadowing for what's about to happen. Base hit over the line. Smallpox delivers. Grizz comes in to score. Here comes Fishy. And the Grasshoppers get 2 more on the first pitch.
So the ball thrown in hit the runner. So Fish is going to have to stay at third. He'll retreat. So only 1 run comes in to score there.
Oh, I didn't even see that happen. Wow.
Excuse me, no, 2. Should be 2.
Is the runner out at second?
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
runner out at second.
All right.
One run comes in to score.
That makes sense.
Cakes was thrown out on the base paths, going
Yep.
first to second there. So, due to everyone's favorite rule, the runner cannot advance.
Mm-hmm. Rule that should probably be discussed in the off season.
Go, Michael.
Because if a runner's definitely going to score from third, and you just peg a runner that's either standing on the base, in the spirit of the rule, I feel like, yeah, maybe that run should score, but the way it's stated right now, Fishy does have to go back to third base.
So to catch you up to speed here, Nightmare started the game, gave up a few runs, and Epstein is now in for relief. We've got a 5-1 score. Grasshoppers leading here in the top of the second inning. One down.
Fishy's still Nightmare's runner at third. Smallpox is Epstein's runner.
And a walk here will reload the bases as Babyface watches ball 5. And Grizz, who has already connected once already tonight, steps in. 64 mile per hour drop pitch will account for ball number 1. Nice to have the Goodyear blimp out here this evening. Goodyear, if you need a tire, there's a lot of options. Don't have to just stick with Goodyear.
3-0 to Grizz, bases loaded. You got to come in with a pitch here.
Yeah, this is one of those you have to attack the board, as scary as it could be. And he does just that with a sweeping inside-out 59 mile per hour screwball.
Good patience from Grizz there, too. Didn't get the pitch he wanted. Didn't help the pitcher out. Takes it for strike one. Still got 2 to play with.
And that's one of those things that separates him from some other hitters around the league, is in a situation he knows he's got some leeway. Similar pitch, and Epstein's able to catch the outside. 3-2 the count here now to Grizz. But as I was saying, he's able to wait for his pitch. He knows what he wants to hit. If he doesn't identify, no matter if it's going to hit middle of the zone, he's not going to be the most tempted to swing in this type of situation with bases loaded.
Well, here we go, full count, bases loaded. This game on the line right here. Big pitch. Epstein checks the wind.
Not sure he got the best read. Here's the kick and fire. And that one just misses. Could have shaved that 5 o'clock shadow off of Grizz's cheek, as that one brings in a runner. 1 run down. Bases are going to be loaded here still. 6-1 your score now in favor of the Grasshoppers.
That'll close the book on Nightmare. 1 inning plus 6 runs. I guess he's not in Kansas anymore.
No, let's say Dorothy woke up and didn't have her strength or heart or really anything. The house fell on her, not the witch, that's for sure.
And to be fair, even if you do have your A1 stuff against the Grasshoppers, they still could do this to you.
Yeah. Just because you have your A1 stuff doesn't mean that steak's going to be cooked. Could be raw and you're going to have a bad time. So Epstein looking to limit the damage here as much as possible. This one hit out to opposite field, caught by Huck Finn on the relay in.
Oh,
thrown
no.
out of play. And
Oh, no. An ill-advised toss. I don't know how many bases that's going to be. Looks like it's just going to be 1 base. Babyface looking around like maybe he gets an extra base, but
you know,
1 base advance.
If he takes off immediately on the throw home, he may be able to be awarded home. Not the case here. The good news for the Vibes, 2 outs. Closer to getting the bandage over this inning.
Yeah, Fishy just missed that. Would have been a dagger bomb. Still maybe was a dagger sack fly. But an ugly inning here for the Vibes, and beautiful if you're a Grasshoppers fan.
And let us know in the chat out there for the singles upon singles watching around the world. Hashtag Hoppers, hashtag Vibes. Epstein takes a hold of this at-bat with a 1-2 count near down to Cakes. Cakes with an RBI single his last time around.
What a pitch. Great
In a
pitch
low just slipping in there. Will end the inning. The damage, however, was done. 4 runs across that time around.
6.
Six.
Or 5.
5. There we go.
Sorry.
We were bound to get that one correct. 5 runs across that time around. And they have a 6-run lead heading to the bottom of the second. Do you want the good news for the Vibes or the bad news?
Let's go bad news first.
The bad news first is that it's been a pretty rough start.
Good news?
There's still a lot of game left. They can rebound right here, and if they scratch a couple across, like we've said already, you're looking to limit the Grasshoppers as much as possible when you're on the mound, but this is a team in the Vibes that we know can hit. They've got some very good guys across the board, and they don't have to play hero ball. It's about knocking the legs out from under this Grasshoppers team. A couple singles here and there, and then you mix in a blast. We've already seen they have some power, and stepping in here to lead them off in the bottom of the second, Cheerio.
Oh, here we go. We got our first drama of the game.
And we know Cheerio has that experience in big games in the past. Mippy, you might know that better than anyone, as he took you opposite field to win the World Series. Talk about your matchups with this man in the past.
I think that story needs to be put on pause for a second, as we've got some on-field drama right here.
Walk us through what was happening. I was too busy gabbing.
So a nice little game within the game right here. Nightmare had been chucking some balls over the fence, or Epstein had been chucking some balls over the fence. Usually if it's like cracked over like a half inch or something like that. Cakes went and grabbed those balls that were tossed over the fence. None of us have seen what the balls actually look like. They could be perfectly fine, they could be not. But Nightmare had a little bit of an issue with Cakes grabbing those balls, thinking that they were overly cracked, meaning they would have a lot more movement on them than a normal wiffle ball. So.
Some people will call this the blue ball game.
Oh, good swing, Cheerio.
Cakes does not seem phased. Maybe he's motivated by this.
No, Cakes, I mean, that's part of his repertoire. You know, he's not a guy that's going to show up, do his work in a cubicle, not talk to anybody, and go home. He's going to go work the water cooler, you know, pop his head in the office of the boss. He wants to rattle the cage. He's going to kind of shake down the other team and want to get their Larry Bird-esque, playing that game that isn't actually the game.
Yeah, Cakes isn't out here to make friends.
No,
he's here to play wiffle ball.
He's here to win, and closer than ever. 2 wins away.
Good swing.
As Cheerio goes down swinging to start the bottom of the second. 1 out here will draw up Epstein, responsible for the lone run for the Vibes. Homered his last time.
Yeah, if Cakes is able to throw strikes, this game could be over. Vibes aren't going to hit 7 solo home runs off him. They're going to have to get some walks. Like you said, scratch across some base runners, then a bomb here and there. But if he's hitting the board, that could be all she wrote.
So interesting, because that's the one that registers as 80 miles per hour. Of all the pitches that Cakes throws, it's the looping changeup that registers at 80. That one misses inside for a ball.
We've got Stash in the chat, we've got Hater in the chat, and we've got Caveman Kershaw. Love our HRL family. Drop your hot takes in the chat and we'll shout you out.
Doesn't even have to be about wiffle ball. Just any hot takes in general. That one hits off the thigh for ball 5. And the Vibes find themselves with a runner aboard, and this is kind of what we were saying. You know, you don't have to play hero ball. Just get runners on base and chip away.
Yep, not going to score 6 runs right here on this swing.
You make a you know, a statue isn't carved with one chisel. It's multiple carvings. You're chipping away at that until the picture finally forms.
Let's go.
Wait.
Yeah, that's right.
This one, a looper opposite field, tracked down by Grizz.
Absolutely camped under that. Grizz prides himself in never having to dive for a ball. Anytime anyone else dives for a ball, he'll give them some crap.
Stop losing. Yeah, you do better.
There might be some controversy about the speed on that one.
They're going to look. Commissioner
And
Huck Finn.
it was over, so that is not an out.
This one dribbled down the line,
John fit.
fielded by
Oh,
Babyface,
boy.
and Grizz
Oh,
takes up.
boy.
Oh, what a throw! What a
Oh,
catch, and they
no.
get him going to third.
He knows he's number 6, right?
Whoa. Ooh.
In a tie game, I don't mind that play. Force a throw, make it happen. Down 6, maybe are going station to station on that.
That is an interesting decision by Epstein. We mentioned this in the first inning. Babyface, accurate, powerful arm. He makes a fantastic throw. Online, connects with Grizz. Great hands, as he showed the play before, tracking in that kind of looping ball that ended up being called back. But I think the summary there is what Nightmare said afterwards. Does he know that he's not worth 6 runs by himself? So.
And now if you're Huck, you wish that last pitch had not been over or not been called over, because Nightmare would be batting with a runner on at this point. Instead, the inning ends and we go to the third.
So
all momentum in the Grasshoppers' favor.
After 2 complete, it's a 6-run lead for the Grasshoppers, representing the city of Hopkins here tonight. 7-1 your score. Smallpox up the bat. Oh, and
he's on it. He's on it.
Looking for blood immediately. Lays off that one. 1-1 the count.
That one knocks over the radar, so we'll have a momentary break. Hot take in the chat. Caveman Kershaw says, this Hoppers team is greater than last year's Aces team.
Put you in the stretch.
Agree or disagree?
God, that's insanely tough. You have to remember that one member is on both sides. Babyface was a member of the Aces last year, so that is a pretty lofty discussion. I know we've already talked about just how good Cakes has been for this team, and Grizz has stepped it up a lot in the playoffs, I think more so than what it was expected when prior to the season. This one,
Tyler.
a frozen rope out to center, and we'll have a leadoff single here for Smallpox. When it comes down to it, though, back to the question at hand, I think the hitting is no question.
Well, that's not debatable. Yeah,
the hitting is no question.
It's a yes or no question. Are they better or worse?
When it comes to, I don't think the pitching disparity is great enough in the Aces side last year to give them any sort of edge in that head-to-head. I think if you could get this in a simulation and they played a 7-game series against each other, I think it's going 6 minimum, but maybe 7. But I do think the Grasshoppers probably edge them out.
Okay, so your answer is yes.
Yes, in a long-winded way, I agree with the chat. Nobody down here. Top of the third. 7-1. Leadoff single by Smallpox. Draws up Babyface. And he quickly gets aboard with if it wasn't 5-pitch walk, it was 6, because that was awfully fast. First and second here for Grizz.
And they are putting some good swings on. Even their foul balls look dangerous.
Yeah.
Right now, this feels like, will it be a 10-run game or not at this point? Not a matter of who wins, as a lucky fan gets a souvenir.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, it's not, when they're missing, it's not, you can miss in a couple different ways. You can miss by just placing the bat at the wrong spot, or you can be late or early. The timing has been great for these Grasshoppers. It's like when they're missing, it's just, they're just under it.
Despite being down big, vibes on the field, immaculate.
This one hit out. Fishhook tries to double up, can't quite get the runner there, scampering back to second base, but they do get Grizz put away here for out number 1, top of the third.
Smallpox, elite athlete, agile, able to avoid that peg.
See those people?
Still doesn't have cleats, but you know,
Since
works for him.
since Franklin's retirement, the Sweet Feet nickname has been dubbed over to Smallpox.
Oh, gotta let that drop. Oh, that's infield fly. Is there no? There's no infield fly in HRL. Let that drop. Let that drop. That's a double play right there.
That's a very gamesmanship double play. But nonetheless, 2 outs, top of the third. First and second, 4 cakes now. Cold strike, first pitch of the at-bat, 2 cakes.
That's the pitcher's call on the check swing, but Epstein's deferring to the guy on first, and he says no swing.
He says no swing. You gotta wonder maybe how the game stance affects that one. If this is a closer affair, do you think he maybe takes?
I don't know. I feel like Epstein usually defers to the opponent on a close call, but I could be mistaken.
1 and 2.
That's great shot.
Into the dirt.
Boy.
Good hold there by Cakes. Must have worked at Dairy Queen in past life. Wrist curls.
That one was a reach, but I respect it.
Almost a streaker. Crowd's getting lively here tonight. Swung and he fouls it off.
54.
A little too hot to handle there.
Speaking of, do you watch that show?
No, I heard. I've heard good things, but you know, not really my cup of tea.
Yeah.
How about you?
I definitely do not watch that show.
Let's go, Cakes. Be good here, dudes.
Clear search history.
Another hold for a ball in the dirt, and from
Let's go, Johnny.
what could have potentially resulted in a strikeout to end the inning, does not go the way of the vibes. Bases loaded now with 2 outs. Runner's going to be hustling out of contact here, and there could not be a. I'm not going to say that. It's a
Another dangerous
bet.
hitter.
It's another dangerous hit.
Bye.
Oh, and that one, skyrocket in the night, afternoon delight. Absolutely mashed out to opposite field, and that one, if it wasn't busted open now, the package is ripped to shreds. M&M's all over the ground. You look like an absolute buffoon trying to pick them up, but you feel embarrassed because everybody saw you drop it. 11-1 the score here, top of the 3. And unfortunately for the Vibes, they have to kind of sit in this marinade of a 10-run deficit.
When I was customizing the scoreboard last night, I didn't take into effect double digits, so the second 1 does not fit on the scoreboard, but that is 11-1, not 1-1 on the scoreboard, as Babyface continues the onslaught. You can see it if you squint. I wonder if I can move that. Probably mess something up, but...
We're gonna wreck the stream here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is
It helps a little bit.
And now this is one of those in the mindset of the Vibes.
Whoa, pause.
Timeout, pause.
Do you see this hot take in the chat? Smallpox is one of the best hitters in the HRL. Whoa, hold on.
Whoa,
My computer's overheating with that hot take.
That's like
Jeez.
ghost pepper hot, cayenne pepper.
Let's calm down a little bit.
God. If you wanted to say something less controversial, we might as well bring up like gun control in this country, because you're not going to find a hotter take than that. Unbelievable there from Torpedo.
You should have heard the gasp from the crowd behind us when we said that out loud. They could not believe that was even being discussed. He hits 1 home run, all of a sudden he's in the conversation. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
This is not the end of the inning. They just need a refill on the buckets, and if you're a pitcher, getting a refill on the buckets is a bad sign. It's a humbling walk. You've just gotten rocked. And you have to go walk to your opponent to say, "Hey, can I have those balls?"
Hey, can you assist me a little bit?
Oh.
Just absolute shenanigans here. Apparently when you're up 10, the field is just yours to litter with balls. Well, like I was saying here, Nippy, at this point, 10-run deficit. I'm not saying it's over,
I am.
but this game is this one where now you're just gonna throw an 80-mile-per-hour slider right at somebody's cheek. Just set the tempo for game 4. As a ground ball there finally ends the inning, but no. But it was a hefty margin. In case you're just joining us, it's not 1-1. 11-1 is your score after 2.5. The scoreboard was not configured properly to allow double digits on there. That is not due to the lack of preparation by this single announcer. Although we do appreciate the hard work put in by everybody on this broadcast. Our producer, Tony Lazzuto, back in the crew, all the guys and gals running the cameras. Stat crew headed by Johnny Pepperoni. I keep looking around and people I feel like just magically keep showing up. I see more and more bodies, and maybe it's because I'm just locked into this game, this absolute blowout of a game, but...
Yeah, it's a modest crowd. It's no longer a sparse crowd. It's a modest crowd.
Yeah, and you know, we see from the apartment complex across the street, everybody sitting up in their apartment windows, lawn chairs out. I mean, there's only about 20 or so people actually in the park, but across the street there's 10 to maybe 100. You know, it's a large crowd. It's a smoked, not what you want to say to a man in the playoffs, World Series downtown.
Maybe it's the spark they need.
They're going to need possibly the fuel to ignite the fire. But Nightmare is retired for out number 1, an absolute smoked one.
That's
hot
true.
ball.
Right back to the pitcher that he's gotten unlucky on.
So the scouting report could be I formation for his next at-bat. We'll have to see what the lineup looks like defensively. But now here's Fishhook. As we talked about him in the preseason,
nope.
This one popped up high and camped underneath his Grizz for out number 2.
Hey, you start to take over the game at the plate and on the mound, right here.
Fishhook just missed 2. Last at bat, he put one to the fence, caught at the wall. This one just got under it a little bit. Exit velo was 103 miles an hour, though.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people say this is a game of inches, and if you ask me, an inch can make a hell of a lot of difference.
Hell yeah. Cheerio nods his approval. That's the biggest smile that I've ever seen from Cheerio.
Absolutely mashed. However, it's in a home run that would have been fair and Egan. That just drifts foul. A little bit of a running joke there. Rock and fire, a little.
Oh.
It's the hiccup delivery from Cakes. I'm going to dub it as the hiccup delivery because it's really never the same.
67. Well, round of applause for that. There we go.
Vapor
That's
trail
impressive.
off that last pitch by Cakes. Any faster, we might have to get NASA on the phone for quantum physics.
That's just a setup pitch for that 60 mile an hour. It makes that 60 mile an hour pitch look that much slower.
Just testing a lot here, and that will retire the side.
Can you put a poll in there? Every pitch, what pitch should Epstein throw, and just let me know.
We'll hold it up.
I'll let the fans
All right.
decide.
Well, you tell us what pitch choices there are. We got screw, riser,
What's in the
slider.
middle?
Screwball is 1, riser's 2, drop is 3, 4 is slider.
Oh, I already
And 5
forgot.
is just
Knuckleball.
fuck around.
Okay.
All right, so hey, let us know in the chat if you're out there watching, all 90 viewers that we have in the chat. Let us know, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I really forget what he said. I think
One is the drop. Well, one is the screw, which he throws most of the time. How about we just say 1 or 2? He'll either throw
Yeah.
screw or other. So
Screw or
put it
other.
in the chat. We'll call it. He'll nod or shake his head. I think he's just gonna go along with whatever you say.
Tyler H. with a hard-hitting question. When do the good players start?
Yeah. So the Chihuahuas was lost in the Final Four. So
Yeah, people are still waiting for that Rough Riders Chihuahuas matchup in the losers bracket of the playoffs.
hey, I'll suit up.
Fish here to start the top of the 4th inning. Halfway gone here in the first game of the night. Game 3. It's a 2-0 series lead for the Grasshoppers. 2 one-run wins back on Monday. 3-2, and then a shutout by Grizz for a 1-0 win. Not a similar story here tonight. 11-1 through 3. Closing in on that 3-0 series lead, barring some type of miraculous comeback by the Vibes. But frankly, we're kind of just counting the moments here until we move on to Game 4.
Ooh.
And for all of you out there,
Cheeky.
you
just called a strike.
Yeah, Torpedo, you just threw a strike. You're 100% on the mound in the World Series. Congratulations. And that could be, incredible. We have the HRL Cup. I don't know. There's not a name to it, is there? They say HRL Cup.
Yeah. That was Rocket on the call right there.
Oh, I was.
Wait.
Oh,
No, it is Torpedo.
Yeah.
It is Torpedo.
Come on.
Sorry, I was just looking at the last name.
You don't know I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
I think is it Pavan? Pavan?
I've never said it out loud. I've just read it. Hey, Torpedo, type out how you pronounce your name.
What's the pronunciation?
Your last name.
Yes, we know how to say
Pabone?
Keith.
Pabone?
We know how to say Keith.
Oh, cheeky.
Really do hope so.
A swinging bunt there drifts foul by Cakes.
Now, anytime Epstein makes it into the World Series, which has been this is his third World Series appearance, I believe. Whenever it's at Egan, he paints up the field real nice. And I know you can see the HRL logo right in front of the dud zone, but down the first base line, we also have the Grasshoppers logo spray painted in their team colors, along with the Vibes logo right next to first base. And then when you walk in on the third base line, it says "Welcome to Nell." Good play on words of "Welcome to Hell." Oh my goodness!
Mashed potato. Oh, not quite.
Nice pin single. Double.
Maybe the longest double you could hit at this ballpark. That one off the top of the wooden fence out in straightaway center.
Yeah, 2020 Tyler puts that out, but
yeah. And that's what we're talking about. It's unfortunate to see these great players start to decline in performance over their time in their career, but it's inevitable for everybody out there, and we see that right before us here tonight.
He settles down, gets wifeyed up. Just
it's all those brewery
starts getting
trips.
Complacent. Yeah.
All those trips to breweries, the extra calories and carbs really affecting his swing. The ESPN fame going to his head, it's one of those guys that has maybe spent a little too much time in the spotlight that's blinding him now.
72. Respect. Respect.
Go to Nationals.
Oh my God, that was unbelievable. For everybody at home, I don't think our camera's high quality enough to pick up just how fast that one. You saw a glitch between his hand and the board. That one hit down the left field line. That'll bring in one run. Fish comes in to score from third. Smallpox advances to third. In an RBI single, sees the lead grow to 11 here as Babyface knocks in another. So it's runners at the corners, one down. Cake strikeout is the lone out of the inning. 12-1 the score.
That's trouble.
A lot of spin on that one, and a great play.
Trapped it.
Catnip.
Catnip's gonna get a nod here. And if they said, if you're gonna beat us, we're gonna make it absolute hell to enter the stats in. We will use every arm in the bullpen. We do not care.
Do you bring in Fishhook after one batter here? Just as a statement.
I do see Cheerio down the first base line getting that shoulder warm.
Now, Catnip is a champion this year. He is the winner of the ALS Foundation Wiffle Ball Tournament, the most prestigious tournament in Minnesota. This year.
Yes.
Next year, Minnesota will be hosting the 2024 NWLA National Tournament.
And that's just going to be an absolute blast. I know we have some plans in the works. There's going to be a live concert, and I think we have the Red Hot Chili Peppers stopping by. to play during some of the games that first day of contests. I know we're going to have a celebrity all-star game. I know we've already locked up George Clooney and Brad Pitt for that. We're going to see Mia Hamm, U.S. women's soccer team legend, multiple-time World Cup champion, and we're going to actually be resurrecting Hugh Hefner from the grave. He'll make an appearance and bat leadoff for a team that he fields. So it's going to be a heck of a time. I can't wait for one. I mean, that's just the opening night festivities.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear the name JoJo Siwa at all, so I might be out. But if she comes around,
I wanted to keep that one a little more under wraps. I know she will be touring while that event is happening, so her and her team are trying to make it work to maybe have a detour, have an off night to come and participate. Just an absolute menace when it comes to MLB Celebrity All-Star Games, softball night games. So when it comes to wiffle ball, an absolute natural, no doubt. And play is back underway here. Catnip
Let's go, Tommy.
on the mound now for the Vibes. Top of the fourth, 12-1 your score. 2 outs.
Catnip making his World Series debut. Is this the spark that ignites the Vibes into a miraculous comeback? So far, no, not at all.
Not yet, but you don't start a fire with one spark of the kindling.
Oh boy,
Hustling.
look at that ERA.
And a good charge.
Boy, Tommy.
And Catnip
Side whip.
heading off the mound after action recorded in the World Series and a 0 ERA for Catnip.
There's a very good
I got some back
chance
here for you.
that Catnip retires from the HRL with a 0 ERA in the World Series.
People are saying people have already started saying that he is the best pitcher in the postseason of all time. Nobody can match that 0 ERA.
He has the lowest ERA in this game. He has the lowest ERA in this series other than Grizz. Oh no, even counting Grizz. He has the lowest ERA in this World Series.
Thank you for on this series.
Yeah.
Oh, I think meant all playoffs. I'm
No.
after your playoffs. But
Yeah, point A is way higher than 0.
World Series.
You're right. One is one. It's one in the.
Until we need them.
You're right. 2 hitting the Hoppers.
Yeah.
How dare I?
The audacity.
Couldn't be a Hopkins team.
And Cake sets down the first batter he sees of the inning. So we're 1 out into the bottom of the fourth.
12-1.
12-1 is your score.
If you hit a 12-run home run, we win.
And they are. We're gonna have to see what happens here.
So there's chatter that the score is actually 13-1. I don't know what we would have missed, but
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. Frankly, at this point, there's one question on my mind for that conversation. Does it really matter?
There you go, John. You're back.
Oh, and he with a hard round of first base. I'm not sure he actually touched it, so that would have been.
he grazed it. He grazed it.
That was
But
a video
he was
review.
intent on going to second, and the last thing we need is more aggressive Epstein base running.
You're in.
That one settles in with a 62-mile-per-hour strike. So 1 down here, bottom of the fourth. Runner on first. 12-1 your score.
If
Home
our
run by Huck Finn would
extend the game.
extend the game.
Yeah, if our score is correct, the Vibes need 2 here.
Looks like the Vibes groupies are in the chat now, cheering on their boys in blue.
Epstein gets women.
Yeah. I hear he gets more than just one. Multiple. Every day of the week.
Now, does it make you uncomfortable when Twizzler calls Epstein Johnny?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really tough look for everyone involved.
And frankly, it's more not because like I know him as Epstein. More so, I don't see him. He doesn't look like he could be a Johnny. It's either John or Jonathan.
This could be it right here.
This one down the line could be a tough
There it
play. And
is.
Grizz, with the sure-handed grab, will end this one. Either 12-1 or 13-1 the final. Insert the Space Jam meme. It's kind of lopsided, isn't it? So final here, we're just gonna say 12.
12.5 to 1.
12.5 to 1.
A lot to a little.
That could affect the spread if you were betting on the live betting. But yeah, a 3-0 series lead is the main story. As now the Grasshoppers are just one game away from hoisting the trophy.
Well, it's not official. Redo the whole game.
A team that they haven't lost since the first round of the playoffs. Are we off?
Should we grab an interview? No.
Oh,
I think we're just rolling it. We're just
right.
rolling it.
Winning pitcher.
Sure. Let me just quick change the mic.
Are they giving me playoff MVP already?
Oh shit! It's back there. Are you switching the camera?
It's gonna switch to this one in a second.
Get Bucks in.
We're here with winning pitcher of Game 3, 2-0 in the series so far, Cakes. First off, Cakes, it was maybe leading up to the game. Nobody expected to get that out of hand. What was your mindset just kind of in the preparation to face this Vibes team?
I was telling the team that we needed more runs. I only got 3 runs. Grizz got 1, so Pat's team out.
And what does it mean when you can get out and follow that game plan? You get a couple runs at the top of the first, and it did get a little dicier in the bottom of the first. They did get a couple runners on. You make a fantastic stop on the mound to end any momentum. After getting that third out to end the first, you pulled that lead. Momentum, where you just like, this
Still
is it.
strikes. Yeah. Grizz and Mike told me in the field just throw strikes, not walk anybody, not let him back in the game.
And they were actually talking in the dugout over here. They were saying, wow, this guy is efficient. Is that just part of your game plan? Or can we expect, if we do have to see it again in Game 5, that you're just hitting the board left and right?
I can't give you all this.
Okay.
Let's ask him about the little controversy behind the fence with Nightmare.
Before we let you go, we did see tensions rise a little bit.
My old teammate.
Old teammate, so there is history there. But you go off camera, off field, you pick up some dubbed not good balls. Was that an honest mistake, or was there a little of a gamesmanship intent behind that?
No, I mean, there's only 9 balls in the bucket. I mean, have you guys seen any of the balls in the bucket? Let's pick one up. Yeah. I mean, that's as best as it gets. And the top's totally dented.
Classic Egan.
Yeah.
Give me
all of them are cut, too. Every single one of them.
Can we get a prediction from you for Game 4 here?
This has been nasty. Hope he shuts him down.
All right, hey, thanks.
Thanks. All right.
Cool.
Hazel, throw it here. Throw it here.
Yeah, well, I'm choking on. Is that PCM right there? Yeah, it's a long. Talk to him. Want it?
Yeah. All right.
All right, head on.
And we're back.
And we're back. Game 4 set to be underway here at any moment. 3-0 series lead. Grasshoppers just a mere 1 win away from securing their franchise's first HRL title, putting an end on this 20th year of the HRL Twin Cities. Huck Finn on the mound for the Vibes here in Game 4, leading things off with an unfortunate foul ball. And that is the exact type of tempo you want to set here if you're the Vibes. Smallpox down 0-1 the count here, top of the first.
Yeah, huge for the Vibes to put up a 0 right here and score in the first. You need to swing the momentum after last game's shellacking.
Yes or no?
And a big cut
Right,
as Smallpox tries to continue that offense over
That's
from Game
like
3.
I know too much, but it's when it gets close and it's that real tight.
You're right.
I'm not saying I never have.
So Huck Finn with
Sometimes,
an
right, like,
impressive
there's 2 balls in
start,
the
sets
bucket,
down
and that's
Smallpox
it.
on strikes.
But I also would be livid if something threw this.
Epstein out and left. Fishhook in right, the defensive alignment for the Vibes here in the
Sorry, I'm
top of the
distracted
first.
from
As the sun goes down, the lights come on at Carnelian. The fans can barely contain themselves. Some fans even climbing just to get a better view on top of structures down there in left field. As Huck delivers a cold strike to Babyface.
If there's anyone that can shut down the Grasshoppers, it's going to be Huck Finn. He threw a 2-hitter in Game 2. Took the hard luck loss. He also beat the Aces this year. He's a big game pitcher. He's a 3-time World Series champion.
He's a guy that when he's on, he brings that pedigree. He brings that seasoned ability. Kind of knows every player's ins and outs. He's got the scouting report down, and he knows how to attack, and he's got the mental fortitude that maybe a younger, less experienced player just doesn't quite have.
And he's not going to overpower you. Not too many people are like, oh no, we have to face Huck Finn, and then they realize they just got 2 hit.
It's one of those, it's death by needle. You know, it's a lot of small pricks and stabs. You're not really getting that machete slice out. It's just, you're feeling that pain. It's over and over, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, I just got 2 hit.
He has been battling some shoulder issues this year. So his regular season stats didn't look great. He's also been the sacrificial lamb for some of the games that maybe were out of hand. So you can't really judge him based on his regular season stats. But in the playoffs, he mentioned to us that he had a .8 ERA. And in my opinion, that's good.
Yes, you know, some would say that's better than most. The only player that I want to say in this postseason so far that I know of off the top of my head that has a better ERA is Ken. And the commentator's jinx right there immediately bites it back with a 2-run shot off the bat of Grizz. He picks off right where he left in Game 3 and gets on the board. And if the score were to hold, we would have a series sweep and a Grasshoppers championship.
And a Grizz MVP, even though they don't give those out.
Well, yeah. Hey, let us know in the chat. We're gonna do fan voted MVP. So write in whoever you want. We may or may not actually take it into account what you say. Thinking over past unofficial World Series MVPs. I want to say last year's was Psych. The year prior was Baby Cakes.
That was the Mets.
Was that Mets? So Taco, and then the year prior was Baby Cakes?
The year prior was Biscuits.
Biscuits.
Over Baby Cakes.
I'm so sorry.
I don't remember the stats in that series. I just know it was Baby Cakes in 7th, or sorry, Biscuits in 7th. During this game, we are going to have a few guest interviewers. We got Dr. Seuss lined up for the second inning. He's going to
Always a
talk
fun
about
time.
watching the World Series for the first time in forever and what that's like. We'll ask him which he prefers. You might be shocked by his answer.
Emphasis on you might, because we're not sure what the answer is. He hasn't told us yet. So a runner on first after all that talking, and takes this one foul off to the left field side. One down.
A lot of good swings early. They've seen him once. Maybe they've adjusted after kind of getting shut down in game 2.
Now I know that we mentioned getting a 0 spot here in this first inning would be the goal.
Yep.
That's how you set the tempo. But
Yep.
at this point, if you can escape down 2 with your first at-bats coming up, would you consider that a small win?
No.
No.
I mean, at this point, yes. But going into the inning, no. He gets out of the inning. That's a small victory right there.
A small victory. Small victory given the circumstances on the fly.
That's the second out, folks.
I was going to say, you fooled me because I thought we only had one. So I'm with you. Thank you so much, partner. You're not going to find this type of content anywhere else. If you expect the best and you get something much less than that. So now we have 2 down, runner on first. Smallpox loops this one down. Fair. You saw the chalk fly up down the left field line. That drops in for a single. So runners at first and second. Babyface will be the batter. 2-0 the score in favor of the Grasshoppers, and it's still top of the first. 3-0 lead in the series. They just wrapped up a 12-1 win, 12.5, I should say, to 1 game win. 15?
13. I thought, so it must be
Okay.
confirmed it was 13.
So
We missed a
confirmed
run
13-1 win in game 3. A huge disparity from Monday night where they won both game 1 and 2 by a combined score of 2.
This could be it right here. Home run. Feels like first inning dagger.
Yeah.
Need to get Babyface out, which is much easier said than done.
And a half swing.
Hits the hands, which is not part of the bat.
Let's go, Michael.
Rock and fire and a hefty hack there, and he sets Babyface down. And they escape just down 2.
Yeah.
A small W given the circumstances, and now we are 100% certain that the inning has come
small
to an
victory.
end.
Small victory.
And we'll head to the bottom of the first. The Vibes will look to get back in this one. I am not sure about the 3-2 game last timeout, but I'm going to say they have not yet let in this series.
They have not, and the Grasshoppers did not trail in the series against the Chihuahuas either. The only game I believe they've trailed in is the game they lost to the Aces when they got dumpied.
This is your last chance to win 5-7 plus 10,000.
The new line has just been set by
the
Fishhook. 5-7 plus 10,000. It's your last chance to get in, he said. Place your bets now.
Place your bets responsibly. Yeah. And if you we'll parlay that with a
Cheerio home run.
Cheerios World Series MVP parlayed together is +1.
It's still higher than Tottenham Hotspur's title out.
Oh, that was.
I mean, they're second right now, so take that for
Do they still have Sonny?
Yeah.
that boy.
But your manager.
Nope, could be an early night here for the 2-bat squad.
And Two-Bet making an early exit. He predicted Grasshoppers in 4. He's so confident that that's going to happen. He leaves in the first inning of the decisive game of the World Series. Some call that confidence. Some call it cockiness. Some call it being a dad. So we've got our first tampering happening in the chat right now. Peanut has officially offered Babyface a spot on the Ducks next year. That'd be a good get for the Ducks. I feel like it would improve their team a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
When you add a in the shoe-in yellow slammer, there's not a lot you can say about getting worse. Unfortunately for Peanut, it's tough to have those tampering in effect when the commissioner is playing here right now and does see the chat. So we'll have to wonder if there's any repercussions after the night's end, what this could do for draft pick violations for the Ducks come this offseason. Will they be fined for team cap salary next year? It's going to be one of those things where we're not quite sure. Will they have just games deducted from their overall schedule, less chance to make up in the standings? The speculation could get out of control here with Stephen A. Smith on the First Take desk tomorrow morning.
Yeah, speaking of out of control, the Vibes, once again, their big chance here is if Grizz can't find any control. That's the only time he's really been vulnerable, is if he can't find the strike zone. If he's hitting the board, he's been basically unhittable in the postseason, at least.
Yeah, he has looked mighty darn good here in the postseason. We'll have to see if he can continue what we saw against the Chihuahuas and on Monday night here again. It's all about finding that groove. He's a guy that if he does get frustrated, he usually...
Oh!
And a dong. A little bit of deja vu here for the Vibes. It was a leadoff dong in the bottom of the first in Game 3. That went on to be their lone run of the Game 3. Well, he does it again here. What do you mean? I've done it 9,900.
Epstein screams Vibes in 7 as he rounds the bases.
This is an unbiased broadcast. If you don't want to...
What's my jersey say? Epstein.
Well, right now it says Stein because there's no E on it anymore.
And just like that, once again, a leadoff dong has cut the deficit in half. 2-1 the score here, bottom of the first, Game 4.
We back.
Well, this was the one inning the Vibes really had life last game. It was the first inning, and it started with a leadoff home run. Huck Finn walked, and that nightmare screaming ground ball that turned into an out, and that's kind of when the momentum shifted. Let's see if they can capitalize on this momentum right now as they are on life support.
You know, it's the equivalent of a Make-A-Wish kid being able to finally meet John Cena.
There we go. There we go. The script. They read the wrong script for the first game.
The HRL script writers might be going crazy with this one.
Okay, if he has a ground out to the pitcher here.
If this is a hard grounder that's knocked down and he gets out, we can just call the game. We know what's going to happen.
It's good news for the Hoppers if we get a ground out.
So nobody down here in the bottom of the first. Runner on first base. And like I said in Game 3, go ahead run at the plate.
And a little bit of control issue for Grizz right here. If the Vibes are patient, they've got a chance.
It's all about that pitch selection. Finding the one that suits you best.
Oh yeah, nightmare.
You know, Grizz on the mound, he's not like a Men's Warehouse. You're not going to like the way you look. He doesn't guarantee it. You're going to have to find your own piece of art, pieces of clothing, put that suit together yourself, and make it work.
The energy has completely shifted right now. The Italian accents are getting brought out for the first time. Nightmare holds his bat upside down and takes one right down the middle. It looks so cool when it's a ball.
And you missed it. Walking back to the bucket, a middle finger held high by
here we go.
Grizz.
The World Series has officially started.
It took 3 games in an inning, but we are off and rolling here, folks. Nightmare awaits the fire. This one popped up
To the pitcher! Are you kidding me right now?
to the pitcher. Oh, and a little showmanship on the mound there from Grizz as he stares down Nightmare walking back to the bench. This could be a game that we need restraints.
Grizz might have that dog in him.
And it's It's to be said whether it's a Rottweiler or Blue's Clues, but it's a dog nonetheless.
Yeah, you've woken up Grizz at this point. Flipping that bat might have been the worst mistake Nightmare's made all night.
A flipped upside down bat led to a flipped off Nightmare.
Now we go.
Now, if the script stays the same, Fishhook's going to fly out to the wall on right here.
Time is a flat circle, Nippy. A good hack there.
The Italian accents have slowed down a bit.
You can feel the palpitation rise and fall. It's like the tide of the ocean. It comes in and then leaves, and oh, a little chin music there from Grizz.
Grizz takes that 0-2 opportunity to throw at Fishhook's head.
He gets 5 of them. Might as well throw one right at the chicklets.
And then he throws that soft one outside. That's just veteran pitching. And I don't know if you could call Grizz a veteran pitcher yet, but after this World Series, he's a vet.
He's a guy that's played on enough teams in enough years with veteran pitchers as Fishhook goes down swinging there. So the script is deriving slightly from what we saw in Game 3. Could be good news for the Vibes.
Come on, Tommy.
Nothing is set in stone. As Catnip looks to extend that prowess we saw on the mound and maybe create some success here at the plate. Two outs now. Babyface in left, Cakes in right. The runner at first is Huck Finn.
Grizz making the walk of shame, going through a lot of balls in the first. There must just not be that many balls in Egan. How does that happen when the
I'm
World
not
Series?
sure. This is one of those situations where you just got to wonder if it comes down to the commissioner for not supplying enough for the league in the biggest stage. I mean, these guys are working with the equivalent of a garage sale back of balls. And I mean, you have hundreds upon thousands watching around the world. It's just an unfortunate circumstance.
The Grasshoppers forgot to bring their balls.
But weirdly enough, not the strike zone. I'm noticing here that we have the Valley 1 strike zone. Potentially a little bit of a weird aura for...
Yeah, I mean, Egan basically is just Hopkins hand-me-downs.
Just the unloved stepchild.
Let's go.
The red-headed ginger at the back of the class with no friends. The city of Egan.
64. Let's go.
And that is the first speed violation of the game by Grizz. That one gets second, excuse me.
Big moment here as Cheerio is going to step to the plate and the script is flipped. Cheerio with another big chance with runners on.
Come on, Andy.
Just like Natasha Bedingfield said, everything is unwritten. We'll have to see if Cheerio here can write his own script.
The rest is still unwritten.
The rest is...
Yeah.
I was trying to remember. Thank you. But hey, it stands. My point still stands. The rest is still unwritten.
Oof,
And that's a
right there.
beautiful pitch by Grizz,
Yeah,
catching that lower inside
Come on,
corner.
Andy.
Maybe the ultimate waste pitch there by Grizz.
This is a chance for Cheerio's biggest home run of his life.
Like they say, the best one is the next one. Good set of peepers there with that 20/20 vision due to the spectacles.
And here come the Italian accents. They're back. The crowd is in it.
Will he get the gobble?
This is when Grizz stepped up last time when it felt like momentum had shifted.
Oh, and a big cut. Sets the inning down.
Way to get out. Way to get out.
They do get one back in a similar fashion. 2-1 after one. Grasshoppers lead as we head to the top of the second. And as both teams congregate, getting all 9 balls for the field that was allotted here tonight. believe any moment here we'll be joined by a special guest in the booth, possibly, maybe. He's walking away.
Our special guest has just walked to the parking lot, so the bottom of the second is still the second inning.
That's
so.
very true.
Once again, for those at home, if the audio quality should be made louder, softer, if the camera should be tilted up or down due to any glare, let us know. On our end, it looks pretty good, but we can't hear what we sound like or necessarily see what the stream looks like as Grizz leads off the top of the second.
And I gotta say, I appreciate you giving the option for a audio change. I'm not sure what we would do. We don't have any other mics that work, at least.
We could adjust the volume of the mic if it's clipping out too much.
That's true. That's true.
I know you don't know much about like broadcasting and stuff, but I'm here to fill you in.
Nope. I don't know much about that at all. I'm a rather novice when it comes to that aspect of our world. I specialize in parody YouTube videos.
Respect. That probably was big in the early 2010s.
You'd be surprised. I was able to actually get a couple nice jobs out in California with some conventions. I was able to get sponsored by a car company, and I was able to kind of make some promotional videos driving that around the country. You know, just a fun time.
Oh my goodness!
Jake Fish takes the bait and sends it right back to the boat. Unbelievable shot there to open this one up. 4-1 now off a 2-run shot by Fishy.
Welcome to the World Series, Jake Fish. There's his moment right there, and it might very well be a game-winning home run in the World Series.
Often regarded as a role player, he's taken this game by the horns. He has looked fantastic tonight. Great swings. Looked good in the field. I mean, he's kind of been doing it all, other than he hasn't gotten a chance on the mound. But there's only so many people that can go out there. Moves on a hard grounder. Scooped up by Epstein for an out. And that'll bring back around the top of the order with Smallpox. So we've already seen the Grasshoppers get their per inning standard 2 runs. Will they get some more?
Yeah, according to my math, they've been averaging 3.25 runs per inning tonight.
And you're welcome. Hey, it's a good thing I was a mass comm major, because I'm not going to check that. Good communication out there in the field as Epstein loses his cap, tracking that one down. That's just how fast he is. That first step blows the hat off the head.
Mm-hmm. Veteran move there. He had a little flavor to that catch, too. He caught it and like kind of flipped it. Oh yeah, his hair always looks incredible. Yeah. Shout out to Moeller Barber School in Fridley. He gets his hair cut by Henry. Make sure you get your hair cut by Henry at Moeller Barber School in Fridley. $5 haircuts, but make sure to tip him well. He plays for the Space Cowboys.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm not just making this stuff up.
Okay, all right. I was going to say, that was a really good bit off the top of your head.
He's Mineral Man.
Mineral Man. Yeah, the band Mineral Man. Shout out Mineral Man as well. Make sure to check them out. They have music.
They do play. That's what I've been told. This one down the line, just foul.
Go, Mike. Extending in here, 2-5. Extending in here, now 2-5. What do you say here?
Here's the rock and fire. Oh, and an absolute lumberjack hack by Babyface comes up empty, and that will end the top of the second. 2 runs, the addition for the Grasshoppers. 4-1 your score as we head to the bottom of the second. And now, after returning from his brief hiatus, we will be joined by who some to most to all describe as the best pitcher in HRL history. All-time leader in wins, multiple Cy Wiffle Awards. There's been talks about just renaming it to the Dr. Seuss Award. The one and only Zach Eustace, aka Dr. Seuss, joins us now in the booth.
Let's go, Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and
Fantastic
gentlemen.
to have you in the booth tonight. First off, Nippy mentioned it to me, and it was something that maybe I didn't pick up on. This is your first time in what has to be a while that you have been playing at this stage of the year.
A few years. My first time watching one with this guy in like a decade. So
That's a wild
that's
stat
different.
that you texted me the other night. What was it?
Oh, and a little heat here to start as we see Grizz give him right to the chops of Epstein, the lone vibe that's been doing any offensive damage so far tonight.
Nasty.
Comes right back with a strike. But Dr. Seuss, when it comes down to this World Series, so far it's been a little lopsided. Do you think that there is any chance in the world of this Vibes team being able to get together, win this Game 4, win a Game 5, win a Game 6, and force a Game 7?
Absolutely. They've got a pitching staff that could carry this team as far as it needs to go. They've also got the bats. They draw a lot of clutch walks, so you know they're not going to get cheated there. And anytime you're drawing clutch walks, you're going to get more chances for sure. But no, I mean, obviously, like winning this game is important. But momentum
That's a bold
can
take.
shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bold
Yeah.
take. Winning Game 4.
Important.
Pretty
Going down
important.
3-0.
Yeah.
A must-win game.
Some are calling it a must-win game.
Some are saying a must-win
A
game.
lot of people are saying. But no, I think if they win this one, they win Game 5, and then, like, who knows what happens last night, but Grizz is dicing.
Yeah, what was that? What was that?
I don't know.
That was a new pitch from Grizz. It was about a 54-mile-an-hour slider that hit the inside part of the board after
just mesmerized.
somehow jeez.
I haven't fact-checked this fun fact, but I'm pretty sure that no HRL team has ever won the Cup without at least one all-star pitcher before.
Oh.
The Hoppers would be the first, which I think is a testament to like how much Grizz has worked since his biscuit days on his pitching, but also like what Cakes has done this year.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question for you. I know you spend majority of your time in Egan playing Egan teams, but I know you follow both cities very closely in your time seeing just what we've seen not only this series, but just in your time in interleague play. How impressive has it been to see?
Yes,
oh,
sir!
this one hit deep down the line.
See a ball. Yep. Oh, let's go.
Always honest Nightmare with an immediate.
Hey, that sounds like sarcasm.
No, it was a very loud statement by a teammate of yours, to say fair.
Definitely could. We're an ethical team. Joe, tell them about your
50-50 baller. Anyways, I was saying, talk about kind of what it takes to take the leap and emergence that we've seen from Cakes, who has been lights out for them, not only in the regular season, but also in the postseason, kind of in their stable horse. And then we just mentioned it, Grizz, his time with the Biscuits, maybe not known as the most effective pitcher, has now become a very reliable number 2 guy.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first time actually getting to see Cakes pitch. We didn't share a field with the Grasshoppers all year, which was crazy. But no, his motion is very deceptive. Like, he's got a nice slow motion and the ball just shoots out. That's gonna be tough on anybody. And Grizz, just like how many tricks he's developed of like changing arm angles, changing his motion up.
Start something off.
He's got like 4 or 5 different pitches. It's really impressive to see and kind of fun.
Not fun if you're playing them.
No,
I believe it.
From your expertise as a decorated pitcher here in the league, it may be something that if you say loud enough, might be able to share to your Egan residents here. But what are the weaknesses, if any, of this pitching staff for the Grasshoppers? We've seen Cakes kind of be lights out. They've only allowed so far, less than 3 in every single game that they've played. Less than 2, I should say, actually. It's been a very dominant performance. What are the weaknesses that they have to start picking up on?
I mean, as far as stuff, I feel like if Grizz is going to change speeds, you're going to have to look for that maybe be ready for a changeup and try to turn on that because it sure seems like everything else is going to be real tough to hit. But I don't know. It's I usually have to get struck out a bunch of times as a hitter before I figure out what a pitcher's weaknesses are. Like I've got a very long learning curve, and I haven't actually faced either of these guys besides like Danny and Wolfen for Wishes 5 years ago. So I don't know, but it sure seems like they've beaten all the best teams in the league so far. So doesn't seem like a lot of weaknesses.
Yeah, I would say they've beaten some very, very good teams.
Yeah,
Would
some
you
might
say,
say
Mippy?
historically
Yes.
good teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cry at night. Speaking of good pitching, he sets down the side, striking out Nightmare. As we'll head to the top of the third inning, 4-1 the score.
Are you going to be around to stick around for another half inning?
Hey,
The
sure.
top of the
You know
third?
what? I can
All
make
right,
that
all right. That's
happen.
pretty
Thanks so
quick.
much.
Yeah.
We were kind of talking about it between games. At this stage, with one team being on the verge, you kind of have to start thinking about the unofficial World Series MVP. Is there a name or two that maybe has stuck out for you from the first 3 games?
I mean, I think from what's happened so far, it'd be hard for it not to be number 9 right there. Like,
It's got to be unanimous. Got to be unanimous.
yeah, has to be. What he's done at the dish and potentially winning 2 games if they close this one out, like, it's got to be him.
Here's my hot take for 2024.
Okay.
Hopkins MVP as well, because he's figured out how to pitch.
Yes,
He's always had the hitting.
he's always had the hitting.
We'll have to. This is barring any roster changes or team movements of the sort. But do you think, if there is any, he is a guy that is a consistent starter once again for whatever team he's a part of next season?
Yeah, I don't think you figure out how to do this and then you go back. Like, I think once he's figured out how to beat all the best teams in the league, like, he's going to have that. It'll just be a matter of whether or not he wants to keep doing it.
Yeah, once you learn how to pitch, it's tough to get taken off the mound. You want to do it every week.
Let me tell you, I would not know. So
Hey, you beat the Yankees in 2016, didn't you?
people forget, and then I tore my rotator cuff the next week and haven't been since.
It's a damn shame.
That'll work. You're 2.
And he continues to stay hot here as he grizzles one right down the left field line. And oh, look at the charging by Epstein to keep him at first.
Yeah, I love the gamesmanship by Epstein. He reminds me of a young Nippy with the antics out there.
More articles of clothing and I would say less flair at times, but yes, I can see it.
But he's got some of those antics.
He does.
It'd fit in well with the family.
And it's fun to see him letting
No
that
pun
out
intended.
a little bit. It's fun to see him letting that out a little bit more.
Ooh.
A ground ball scooped up by Epstein gets Fish to head back to the dugout. A productive out, though, as he moves Grizz over to second base. Cakes will be the batter now here. 1 away in the top of the third.
All right, Seuss, I got a gamesmanship as a line drive to Epstein. He boots that.
Oh, right
there.
Able to move forward and
That'll work.
scamper to third is Grizz. So we'll have runners at the corners for the always dangerous smallpox.
Yes.
Epstein, usually known as kind of a happy-go-lucky guy, just out there to have fun. A little bit of controversy in game 1 or 2. I can't remember which game it was. I don't know if you've heard anything about
heard a
that.
little bit about it.
Through the grapevine, as Huck delivers strike 1 to smallpox. 3-2 game. I believe it was the last inning. Vibes down 1. Second and third. First base open. Cakes intentionally walks Fishhook, tells him go to first.
Not even I'm just going to throw it kind of close and making balls that you can't swing at. It was, I'm intentionally walking you, take your base.
In order to face Cheerio with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Ends up getting Cheerio out. Strategy works.
Yep.
Rumor has it, I wasn't at the field, but Epstein took a little bit of an exception to that.
Yes.
And kind of said a few things as there's a little spinner that's going to stay in the dud zone. What are your thoughts? World Series, all bets are off? You do what you want? Or do we not intentionally walk people in the HRL?
You know, I think there are a lot of ways to go about that. Like, The just take your base maybe lacks some of the facade of what it's going to be. But I don't know. I think the real question is whether or not there's precedent for such a strategy in HL World Series history. I couldn't think of any examples right off the top of my head. I don't know if you can, but
I was like, does he know where he's going with this? Yes, I intentionally walked psych to get to the Dr. Seuss, who homered to tie the game on the next pitch or next at bat.
Untie the game.
Oh yeah, to give the lead. To give the lead. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Also a smart move. 100 times out of 100.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, I'm on team. Let's intentionally walk.
Yeah.
I did it. Didn't work for me, but.
So let me ask you this: if you are going to do it, are you all right with the cadence of just speaking it? Hey, do it, or would you rather do the showman of, you don't have to necessarily put it close to the board, but you're still throwing pitches.
So if it's me, and there's one time that I can think of off the top of my head when I did dabble in this, I don't know if Taco's on or not, but 2016, we're up 3-2 in the World Series.
As Huck Finn gets out of the inning with no runs allowed, maybe a little momentum back to the vibes.
Maybe. Long and short of it is, Taco's up, 2 outs, we're up by 1. Top 6 of Game 6 of the World Series. We need to win the game to clinch. And he homered off me in his last at-bat, like he's done dozens of times. And I threw him 5 sinkers where I decided it is either going to clip the very bottom outside corner of the board or it's going to miss. Those are the only 2 options. They all missed. He took first base. Next guy grounded out. We won the game. So, was it entirely intentional that I walked him? No. But it was 1,000% intentional that I wasn't going to give him a pitch over 99% of the board. And I would do that again. So I think it comes down to presentation. A lot of the presentation.
Now to play devil's advocate for Cakes' side, he grew up, I don't want to say he grew up playing for the Factory Wiffle. He was a very casual for the Factory Wiffle player, but in our league, when it's an intentional walk, you just tell him to go to first. So it could have been where he just thought that was the rule, just like MLB, you don't actually throw the pitches.
Sure.
Who knows? But my take is, love you, John. Love you, Epstein. This is the World Series. This ain't family anymore.
Fans over there.
And a quick break in the action for those of you. I appreciate everybody choosing this over Thursday Night Football. As of right now, 14-13 to go in the second quarter. 3-3 between the Giants and the 49ers. But back to the action here. Bottom of the third, we've got a 4-1 ball game.
Hey, Torpedo, this next at-bat's for you. You hear me? Put it in the chat if you hear me. This at-bat's for you. My next at-bat.
Epstein heard his name and immediately ran to the booth. I stand by everything I said.
So it's a lead-off walk here for Fishhook.
Here, Tommy. Seuss, you're awfully quiet after that walk. Usually a little bit more pomp and circumstance.
Wait and see if he scores.
Okay. You didn't wait until see if you scored in the All-Star game. It was instant celebration.
No, that's true, but that's when I was walking. I just,
okay.
Too much of a shameless self-promoter to let something like that go unnoticed.
Are all walks created equal?
They are not. Certain walks are great walks, and other walks are truly clutch walks.
Can you maybe talk about some of the other HRLers out there that you set the precedent of Walk King, but there's some other HRLers that maybe fall in your footsteps. Is there any that you have grown envy of in their ability to take walks?
I mean, the whole Chihuahuas franchise, I just admire so much. Like, watching you all at the awards ceremony last year, taking home that trophy, that really resonated with me. I mean, Merce, I'm such a fan of his work. Face, he is just, he takes some beautiful walks.
As Catnip goes down swinging, Grizz battles back after throwing 7 straight balls. Fishhook was holding up on his hands how many straight balls he had thrown until he locked in again and got the strikeout.
People forget Face was the 2023 HRL Walk King. I'm not sure about the exact number, but I know he did set the single-season franchise record for the Chihuahuas with most walks in a single season.
Right there,
Now
Chi.
Cheerio.
Right there, Chi.
I'm embarrassed I don't know this, but what is the HRL record for walks? And did he set it or come close?
Speaking of that, we're going to call in Face to the booth. Face, the HRL walks leader this year. We have one question for you, and then you're going to be sitting right back down. Welcome to the booth, Face. Dr. Seuss wanted to know, what was the...
Oh, Cheerio out to
Cheerio!
right center. Oh, just can't have enough muscle on it.
Should have walked. Yes, he should have.
A walk would have been that much more productive.
Dr.
2 away
Seuss
now
is
here in
wondering-
the bottom of the third.
Hey, good swing, Andy. Seuss is wondering what the single season walks record was, and I figured if anyone would know, it would be you. Do you remember off the top of your head?
Focus that energy.
I believe it's
Like you're a
77.
powerful weapon.
Hey, too, Joe, I got you.
Aim at
9?
Aim that energy at the frick.
Yes.
I gave him a
9.
fist bump.
Yeah, like
you
2008, 2007.
I got you.
Somewhere
I got you,
around
Joe.
somewhere. It might have been even earlier. 'Cause I
Maybe
remember,
This one chopped the other way,
you know, like when you join
right
the
into the wickets and fielded by Fish, and that will bring the third to a close. 4-1 halfway through game 4. Grasshoppers lead 4-1.
It was a pleasure to have you in the booth, Face. Now you can go sit down now that we got that answer from you. 77 is the unofficial record for walks in the season. Well, Seuss, it was a pleasure having you in the booth. Your wisdom on the mound and about walking, especially lately, is always appreciated. I have to say, I would much rather be playing you in the World Series, but if there's any consolation prize, it's standing next to you talking about clutch walks. So,
the feeling is mutual, Mip. Thank you for having me. Yeah, all year I was hoping for that Baby Cakes Chihuahuas matchup. This wasn't in the cards, but
wasn't in
you
the
know
cards.
I like the second half of that. That's what I was hoping for as well. But hey, if I know one thing in life, it's falling short of the main goal. So, you know, we live and we learn.
We do.
And now, before we do let you go, I know we have this massive platform. Is there anybody out home, back home, or anything you want to say hi to that you want to reach with this amazing opportunity?
I mean, I really appreciate this amazing opportunity. Amelia, if you're still up, thanks for watching Wiffle Ball instead of Mickey Mouse. That's really awesome.
Thank you so much for putting away your motherly duties for one night to watch Wiffle Ball, just for the off chance of hearing your husband on the call.
She'll be very happy. Hey, thank you both.
Hey, thank you so much.
ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Seuss.
Ladies.
And here we go, returning back for the top of the fourth inning. 4-1 your score. Grasshoppers leading here halfway through. The finish line of the 20th HRL Championship is in sight. Looking to complete the series sweep.
We have our first look at the cup. It was just delivered, as we are now 3 innings away from a possible Grasshoppers victory as Grizz goes down swinging. The cup is here. Will it be presented in this game, next game, or will it be in Hopkins next week?
A lot of good questions there, Mippy, that I just don't quite have the answer to yet. Time will tell as the night moves on.
Huck Finn has done a great job kind of cauterizing the wound, if you will. If that was the correct medical terminology.
It was one of the ones you could have used.
Yeah.
I think it works well.
Yeah, I think it was the first 0 that the Vibes put up all night, and now he gets the leadoff batter, and he now is ahead 0-2 to Fishy. Another 0, who knows? Anything could happen.
Oh, and he was in the chat, and he magically appears in person. Eric Ganellis, a.k.a. Hater, former commissioner of the HRL, in attendance here this evening. The delivery from Huck, and Fishy goes down swinging. 2 outs now away in the top of the fourth. And this, I think, is the pitching outing that the Vibes were hoping to get from inning number 1. Oh, missed a Sherwin-William painted corner there. Sherwin-William, best paint that you can buy.
The motto for the Grasshoppers all playoffs has been extend this inning, and as I said that, Grizz said it at the same time as me. sometimes you get the first 2 outs and you take a little sigh of relief, and then all of a sudden the bases are loaded and they hit a 3-run single up the middle. So not out of the woods quite yet, as Cakes looks to extend this inning.
And the nice thing about the position that the Grasshoppers are in here is there's really no pressure to perform at the dish.
Extending here.
They have the lead. It's not the slimmest of leads. They have a 3-run lead as things stand. They just have to limit that of what the Vibes are doing. When they do come up to bat, 9 outs remaining for them to turn this thing around, but obviously any insurance is good insurance.
Cakes kind of helps out Huck right there, and Huck throws up another 0. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Vibes looking to change the scoreboard, make this a little bit interesting. I'd like to give a warm welcome to Dodger Dave in the chat. Defending champ Ace puts the sad face in the chat probably right after I held up their trophy that they no longer will have potentially tonight.
Yeah, Dodger Dave for being known well as the most clutch ace on the roster. He played a big part in that title run last season. A lot of kind of extra inning, game-winning hits, big clutch singles to knock guys around late in the game. Just a guy that lives for the big moment. I'm sure he can appreciate what we have here tonight, and a big moment potentially for the Grasshoppers as they close in on another Hopkins championship.
If the Hoppers were to hang on to this lead tonight, it would be Grizz's 4th cup. It would be Babyface's 2nd cup. In back-to-back years, it would be Cakes' 1st cup, Fishy's 1st cup, and Smallpox's 4th cup. 4 cups is the record for a single player in the HRL, held by a handful of people.
I happen to be joined by one in the booth this evening, and Mippy...
2, actually. Dr. Seuss.
2, yes, that's true. Well, Mippy, let me ask you, is there... You've won 4. Is there a time after, the first, winning that 2nd, winning that 3rd, winning that 4th, does it ever feel less than it did the first time around? Less special?
As Grizz gets swinging on that drop ball that's so hard to lay off of. Actually, surprisingly, it's the opposite. The first time we won the cup, I was mad because we swept and I wanted to play the next week. So I was like, why do we have to win in 4? I wanted to play my wiffle ball. Then the Biscuit series later on were pretty exciting, but probably the most excited I was with the Mets. So it's kind of gone in reverse order.
That was going to be my next question. So the Mets one stands kind of above the rest, is the most special to you?
I don't know about special, but in terms of excitement and expectation levels, that was probably the one that was the most, I don't want to say shocking, because we were good, but not as expected.
Is there a defining moment that sticks out in your brain from...
Oh boy, as Grizz just gets bit by a bug during his delivery. Let's see if that psychs Nightmare out.
You go 4-5.
It just leaves that one high in the zone.
There was a lot of defining moments, but this night is all about the Hoppers and the Vibes and their defining moment.
Right you are. I'm just trying to live through the rose-colored glasses of somebody that's been there and done it before. Not sure I'll ever get to taste that sweet feeling.
Not with that attitude.
Speaking of a guy who has done that and then some, Nightmare up to bat now. This one, a rough bounce there, but what a grab by Babyface. Sure-handed as always.
Sorry, Wally, good swing, good swing.
Nightmare's been on the tough end of some bad luck tonight. He's pounded the ball straight into the ground or right at people, and he's got really nothing to show for it. And the frustration continues to mount for Nightmare.
I'm looking at the StatCast page now for the night's events, and he leads all players through games 3 and 4 so far for hard-barreled percentage balls that unfortunately ended it out.
Good cut,
He's
JJ. There we go.
been
There we go.
having one of those nights unlucky.
Yep, he's always had hard balls, even during the regular season as well.
I think you were fine.
Save agents. Appreciate it. Always the selfless Cheerio, throwing himself in front of harm for others. As Grizz just misses there with that offer.
Here you go, JJ.
Fishhook took a huge leap with his batting prowess through the regular season, hoping to maybe conjure up some magic here as that one just spins low and wide. Okay, it's 806. 806.
Oh, snag.
Cool. Here you go, JJ.
It was really cool until it because they were up, and I was like, I keep rolling hard.
Grizz sets
with
down
that clean
another.
inning.
So we're through 4, and the score is 4-1 Grasshoppers. Grizz continues to look the part on the mound, does the job at the dish.
Yeah, after that leadoff home run, that's 4 shutout innings for Grizz. He might be locked just enough. That 4 runs is looking like it could be enough for this championship.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing about the game of wiffle ball is that you only have so much time. Time is one of those limited resources. And sometimes you just get off to a rough start to where you put yourself behind the 8 ball and you can never really play catch up the way you want to.
Just a bunch of cliches
Yeah,
thrown at the
yeah.
wall right there.
Every cliche.
Time is a limited resource.
So cherish your loved ones like you cherish. For those of you out there watching around the world, you know what? Give your mom a call tonight. Tell her you love her. You never know how much time you have left.
Let's go 2-3. And Grizz says his next home run celebration is calling his mom rounding second. If you do that, that's first ballot Hall of Fame.
Get on FaceTime. Nice little half swing there by Smallpox. Watches that one drift by for a ball.
Let's go 2-3. Be good here now.
And you know what? While you're on the phone with your mom telling her you love her, let her know where to watch the stream tonight. You know, there's always more the merrier. The Smallpox watches ball 5 there. He'll be aboard with a leadoff walk.
Comment in the chat if you could go on a date with any HRL player's mom, which player's mom would it be?
Oh, there's just so many good options there, Mippy. Do you have anything that comes to mind right off the bat for you?
A lot comes, actually. I'm going to think about it for a little bit and see kind of the suggestions in the chat, but I'm excited to see what people come up with. Extremely excited. I mean, the obvious choice is going to be Pork Boys.
Yes.
A close second would be Two Bat's mom, I would say. And then I don't know if you've met Spaz's mom, but she's definitely up there on the list as well.
Okay. Oh, we have the first suggestion in the chat here. It looks like the runaway favorite so far is Mippy's mom, followed by Sykes' mom as a solid number 2.
Yeah, Janet and Peggy are real ones, solid choices.
And frankly, thank you, Travis Hayda, new to the league. I'm sure I appreciate the feedback in the chat here tonight. Why have one when you could just get both? Nothing wrong with a double date if you get what I'm saying. And a big hack there from Grizz. He's got one thing on his mind, and that's calling his mother.
A few homers here, that's the dagger. That's a shot that put the vibes to sleep.
Absolutely. as we see a 3-run lead for the Grasshoppers here in the top of the 5th. Here's the 3-1 offer from Huck Finn. He asked for the green light on a 4-1 count. Nothing close though, as he is not tempted. 2 aboard now here. Smallpox at second. Grizz the runner at first.
Fishy already with 1 home run this game, an absolute moonshot to left center. Can he do it again?
Deep into the night. Goodbye, baseball. That one is gone. Sorry, force of habit. Force of habit. I apologize. But either way, it's a 3-run shot. Jake Fish, a man on a mission, his second shot of the game, breaks this one open, makes it 7-1 in the top of the 5th.
And I don't know if you hear that right now, but I hear a slight snoring sound. And I think, as Huck makes a play, I think that's the sound of the Vibes going to sleep.
You know, as we don't have it hooked up to the setup here tonight, but if we were to go to our live shot of downtown Hopkins, you could see them going wild in the streets, already getting their parade seats assigned for a championship run tomorrow.
Yeah, the saran wrap is being taped in the clubhouse as we speak. The champagne is on ice. The goggles are in place.
Light poles are being greased. The non-needed celebratory merchandise is being shipped to Lower Africa. It's truly one of those preparation ones that it's not all but over, but it looks like Huck Finn taking a little resent from our comments here. Gasses one past Smallpox.
Yeah, a lot of poles being greased tonight, AJ. A lot of poles being greased as Grizz stands in front of me.
Speak for yourself. Oh. Back up the middle, Epstein tracks over to pick that one up for out number 3, and that will bring the top of the 5th to a close. Jake Fish with a 3-run shot puts the Hoppers up by 6, 7-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. 6 outs remain for the Vibes, and they're going to have to make each one of those count. We look over to the Grasshoppers bench, still completely serious. Whether it means that much or frankly they just don't care, they're staying focused for the time being.
Yeah, Grasshoppers usually don't show a lot of personality as is, but in the postseason it's been even more stoic. And I mean that in a loving way. They're just gamers, they're down to business. They love to have fun, they just show it in a different way. Smallpox is the only one that kind of lets loose a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably just because he's been here so many times.
So it'll be Catnip leading things off for the Vibes here in the bottom of the 5th. Down by 6, they're going to need some runners here mid.
Oh yeah.
This one back up the middle.
Another tough break there for the Vibes. They've hit a lot of balls hard, but either just short of the line or fielded cleanly.
It's one of those times where you can't help but get a little frustrated just because it's not like they're putting bad pieces on these hits. It's just it's either short of the line or it's right back up at somebody. Just a tough one.
Oh, Cheerio!
Cheerio gets
Caught
a hold of
by
one, but Babyface is there to make the grab.
And that catch maybe is a little bit prophetic right there because both Cheerio and Babyface going for their second HRL Cup, and Babyface maybe just snatched it from Cheerio's grasp right there.
That was the series changing.
That was the moment where the momentum shifted.
Yes.
Let Cheerio get hot.
Because at this point, it has been all Vibes up until that point.
Now, if you're a Vibe at this point, you're kind of thinking, is this my last at-bat of the year? You're trying to get the best at-bats possible, give your team a chance. Epstein's had a good series, 2 home runs in this game, or in this night, I should say.
And he rubs one out to left there over the line for a nice single, and they have a runner aboard with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. That'll draw up Huck Finn. Huck looking to start a little bit of fire here. A nice 2-out rally could be just the thing that the Vibes need to propel themselves with a little more life.
I'll ask. Nightmare wants to know if everyone's being nice in the chat to him, so make sure to give your nicest compliments to Nightmare. To anybody. Yeah.
Don't give me compliments. I haven't heard that.
I mean, besides us asking who would be the best HRLer's mom to sleep with, it's been pretty fun. This one pop back.
You didn't really ask that.
Yeah. We keep it classy here.
They asked.
Hard-hitting journalism.
They give any of these people
Capital J.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, disgusting
Chris,
there.
Stop it. Stop it.
And if there was alien life out there, that's where he learned it from. Just an otherworldly pitch there by Grizz, as that one's fouled off by Huck Finn to extend the at-bat. The always mysterious Hove. Just perched on a stoop out there.
Probably watching the live stream, honestly. So shout out Ho for being here, but watching the live stream. Seen it in person, seen it on a slight delay.
I love it.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it. So good, you want to watch it twice.
As Grizz gets puck swinging, we go to the final inning.
One last chance here for the Hoppers to add a little insurance. Leading by 6. Not entirely sure that they do need it, but this is a team that has never once taken their foot off an opponent's throat.
Absolutely not. They might not even crack a smile after winning this.
They could sense no pulse, and they'll still rip your arms off and put them in a meat grinder. They do not care. They want to wipe you off the face of the earth, shred your birth certificate, cancel all your subscriptions, erase any notion that you ever had a life. Just stone cold killers.
Well, we still got a little bit of time. We want to shout out the people in attendance tonight. We talked to Dr. Seuss haters in the building. Buck's here. Pablo's here from the Marlins. We've talked about Wiffle Jesus being in the building. Love that. D is in the building. Groundskeeper Willie representing. We got the Mart, we got Face, and we got some Wiffle wives here as well. And then Hove sitting behind the right field fence. I don't know if you can see him on the stream, but he's just maybe off camera.
He's here. I know Hater was here at one point as well. Yep, there he is.
Yeah, sorry if we missed anybody. WebGem was here for a little bit. Two-Bet was here for a little bit. Love the HRL family. There's no league like it.
Best league in the country. Best league in the country.
Not even a debate. Best league in the country.
And reminder for all of you out there watching to respond to the Wiftoberfest email if you do intend to participate, getting that information back with a nice simple RSVP. Don't ask me about the details. Full transparency, I don't think I can make it, so I didn't really read the email myself. I know it's on a Saturday and I work Saturdays, so it's going to be one of those times where
Oh
my word. Into the stratosphere. Maybe the furthest hit foul ball of all time.
I think that hit a car. If it didn't hit a car, it hit a tree that saved the car.
It's a good thing that this one could be over early because that's property damage we're going to have to answer for if we stick around too long.
Oh, the Mart with an absolute.
And you missed it off camera, but the Mart tripped over his own legs. Didn't come up with the play. Alligator armed. If there's one thing that people remember from the night, it's Mart failing to catch that easy popped up foul ball.
Yeah, Wiftoberfest is a blast.
Right around
random teams, random draw. You find out a couple days before, maybe the night before. I can't remember. And you just go and have some fun. Don't want the season to be over. Then we got the not the winter meetings, the award ceremony banquet, which was new last year. Tons of fun.
Setting venue to be determined. Fish out to right, and that one camped under. Didn't quite have the legs. It's reeled in by fish hook.
Just two fishies. He almost had his third home run of the game right there.
Fish are friends, not free.
See, but then I lose everything. Like, it's tough. Like, I can go off of, but then I give up everything. So it's like, a guy like Dumpy, a lot of screwball guy, I'll do that.
Drop down the line, fielded by Epstein. That will end the inning, and we'll head to the bottom of the sixth. The last chance for the Vibes to extend their season. They trail by 6. They're going to have to make these final 3 outs count. Mippy, what's the approach here? Let me tell you mine. I think the motto here is just don't be the final out. If you're not the final out and nobody else is, that means you had a pretty solid time.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to be the final out. And that's got to be the Vibes approach.
It's a very long intro song. So here we go, bottom of the 6th. Nightmare will be the first batter that Grizz faces here in the Hoppers' pursuit for the series sweep. He gives him the 1-0.
That's definitely we're up 7-1. We'll give it to you right there, because that was about as much of a swing as my swing against the Wahoos earlier this year.
Epstein calling for.
Oh no! Such tough luck. 2 outs away.
And 2 to go here. You can sense the excitement on the Grasshoppers bench. They can barely contain it down there on the first baseline, holding each other back. You can see the tears watering up in the eyes of Jake Fish.
Go, Joe. Start us.
Yes, sir! Out to right. Doesn't quite have enough. And yes, sir, that is an out recorded by Cakes.
I believe in my boys, always.
I believe in your boys too.
1 out away.
Bottom of the 6th. 2 outs. Nobody on. 7-1 in favor of the Hoppers.
Fuck, we traded for you.
Fuck, we're sitting.
Oh, really?
Toughest outs last year.
Right you are, face off camera. He said the toughest out to get is always the last out. Does Grizz have that dog in him? Just misses wide there as Catnip watches for a ball. Another kick and fire, just misses out wide.
Green light. Green light.
Oh, and he wears that one on the ribcage for a runner aboard.
5s and 7.
And the talk is 5s and 7 on the sidelines here.
If you lose I'm going to be so sad.
A runner on.
Well, I'm not going to tell you that.
The tying run is on first, but not this time around.
It's kind of a poetic ending right here. Cheerio up at the plate, chance for redemption from the earlier game after a Catnip walk.
Cheerio had the ball launched inside.
Vibes are still immaculate on the Vibes right now. They've never lost that.
Here's the 3-0 offer to Cheerio. Inside for ball 4.
5s and 7, boys.
Oh! And Grizz absolutely ruins the party throwing a strike.
You won't walk.
4-1. This one popped up foul.
This one's got all the drama, folks. Full count, Cheerio at the dish. What more do you want?
2 outs. Runner will be moving off pitch release.
Must see TV.
If you just joined us, boy, did you miss a doozy. Cold walk.
The crowd is awake again.
And this
The
is
season continues.
and this is why you love the HRL.
Remember when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
God,
took you a sec.
Oh, yeah.
Green light by Epstein, a big cut.
All right, 7.
If he were to connect on one, well, it wouldn't make too much of a difference. But anyway, it would change the score maybe a little bit. 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Just a booming smack of the strike zone.
For the second time, the Hoppers are 1 strike away from their first championship.
Oh! That would have been an all-time villain move to win the World Series on a pickoff. All-time villain inductee. And there,
64, the season continues. Oh my goodness, the crowd has never been louder.
they're not done yet. Undertaker gif emoji, they just sat up. Oh, and there it is. The Grasshoppers win the 2023 HRL Championship. They win the World Series in a 4-0 series sweep over the Vibes. Hopkins reigned supreme for yet another year, and it was all Hoppers all the way. Pitching was dominant, the hitting even more so. And unlike the movie Ants, the Grasshoppers come out on... unlike the movie Bug's Life? I haven't seen it in a while. Unlike the movie Bug's Life, the Grasshoppers come out on top. Smallpox and Riz's 4th championship. Babyface's 2nd. He goes back-to-back, winning last year with the Aces, makes the move in the offseason to join the Grasshoppers. And then Jake Fish and Case.
Congratulations to the 2023 HRL champions.
Well, Ages, another great season.
Another great season. The 20th season ends with the Grasshoppers hoisting the trophy high. The Vibes and 7 crowd is awfully quiet here. Hey, Casino.
I don't think there's any debate as to who the best team in the league was this year.
No. Unfortunately, their season ended, and now we have to have the Grasshoppers hoist the trophy. That was a joke about us. No, I mean, these guys just all around, top to bottom, they frankly are just a league above the competition. They've been able to out-hit, out-pitch, out-serious in some cases, out-argue in others. They've had it all really come together, and it really, you see teams peak at certain times. These guys, even when they had guys on the road, some of what people would say they're heavy hitters, absent at games, the rest of the team able to pull through, get key wins, secure the number 2 seed in the Hopkins, and they had to face, frankly, hell to get here. Aces, they go 3 games in round 1. Bouncing back after a tough game 2 loss, they get the win in game 3, and then what in some considered a maybe pitching mismatch to start off the series against the Chihuahuas. They clean the floor, out hitting, out pitching. They wrapped that one up in a 3-game series sweep out of the best of 5. They head into the World Series, taking on the opponent Vibes. Monday night, 2 very close games, 3-2. The final in Game 1. Grizz on the mound for Game 2, pitches a shutout. Opposite of them, they had to face a very tough pitcher in Huck Finn, who 2-hit them and has to wear the L on that one, so they win 1-0. Coming into the night, I don't think anybody anticipated it would end in this fashion. A 13-1 win in Game 3.
I just want to thank all the fans out there for supporting your Egan Vibes this year. We're going to be back stronger next year, maybe. Who knows? I just want to thank all Egan. We love you forever. Post games at Bogies.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not, but you'll act like you. Yes.
We're going to keep the Pepto-Bismol post-game show rolling along here. Pepto-Bismol, the pink goo when you need to poo. Media obligations.
Going in tonight.
Grizz, I need to deal with this.
Oh, team divided?
Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around with us. This mic is for show, it's not plugged into anything.
What is this about?
Hey, congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
4th championship. Is this one sweeter than the last? How does this one rank compared to the other?
This is my favorite one so far. I'm sorry to Nippy, Huck, and Two-Bat. This is my favorite one. We've taken a lot of shit from Cakes, Babyface, and Fishy that we could never win one without Huck and Nip. So this is probably the biggest one, especially beating Nip and then Huck. Probably the one that feels the best.
Let's talk about coming into the night. It was 2 incredibly close games. You squeak out with a run differential of 2 in games 1 and 2, a 3-2 win and a 1-0 win. Did you anticipate maybe the explosion and outburst that you guys would be able to win games 3 and 4 with?
I don't think we expected the outburst that we had. I know after game 1 and 2, we were talking in the group chat, and we were just like, hey, I mean, we did not hit well, and we still won 2 games. So all we got to do is pick up our bats a little bit, and we knew we were going to have a good shot coming into the night. That's pretty much it. Really.
It's been kind of the talk here for the postseason. Everybody knew coming into the year that you guys would have the hit. There's no question about it. I think the question mark heading into opening day was, did they have the pitcher? People knew it would be kind of a stable of you, and we saw what Cakes was able to do late last season. I'm not sure anybody expected exactly what we saw from both of you here, not even the postseason, but just the entire regular season into the playoffs. Cakes lights out. What can you say about his growth as a pitcher coming into this 2023 postseason?
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. I'll get a little cheesy and say it was a little bit of bulletin board material with him because we knew he had one pitch. We didn't know he could learn how to throw 75 miles an hour and have it register 62. It was unbelievable. It was so much fun to see him just throw all year and throw very well all year. I think he had an ERA of under 3, like a 2.6 or something all season. Pitched unbelievable in the playoffs. I mean, he's just kind of got that mentality that he's going to go out there and he's going to beat anybody that he pitches against. And I mean, he realistically did. I mean, he's unbelievable all year. And it's just really fun to watch.
And then shifting focus to, not to steal your cliche, but let's talk bulletin board material. I think it's maybe not a secret, but some people expected you to be the easier pitcher to face out of this bullpen of pitchers that you guys have. What maybe fueled you to hone your craft and become, frankly, the elite pitcher we saw the past few series?
Yeah, I knew that the knock on me is I had 2 pitches. You could tell which one was coming, and I didn't throw that hard, and it was easy to hit. And I know going into the series against the Dogs, the theory was, okay, we have Mippy versus Grizz. That should be 2 easy wins, and then we'll go on to the World Series. And that just, to me, that was, like, I get it, I understand it, but it was just a lot of, okay, well, now I have to go fucking down. You know, and that's what was the fun part. And I had, like, that new pitch I had learned, I kind of was throwing it all year, but I really didn't start throwing it till the second half of the season. And I honestly don't know how it started to hit the board against the Chihuahuas. I had never thrown it that well all season. And then all of a sudden it just started to hit the board, and I was like, oh shit, I think we found something. And then I just gained an unbelievable amount of confidence, and that was my main go-to pitch for the last 2 series. And that just made it so much more fun to pitch when you could mix things up and get, obviously the first game I pitched against the Vibes, I had 7 walks and 11 Ks with the shutout, which effectively wild. I think it was at the Cowboys pitch.
Now, you just mentioned that pitching performance, and also on top of what you've done at the plate in the World Series. It's not an official vote by any means, but it's kind of a unofficial, unanimous consensus between the two calling it here tonight because nobody else wanted to step up. But we're going to unofficially award you the HRL World Series MVP award. So congratulations!
Thank you.
I'm sure that's a bigger honor than anything that's happened in your life. What does that mean to you to be the unofficial World Series MVP?
I mean, it's cool. I mean, doing the stuff at the plate, that to me, that's expected. I mean, if I don't hit, we don't win. That's just kind of the way I look at it. I know that's probably not the best answer, but I just love having the home run chase with Babyface and Smallpox. I mean, we've been talking about it the entire playoffs. And the last home run I hit against Dan put me up by 1. So I ended the playoffs with the most home runs on our team. So that's something I get to hold over those two now for years. That's fun. I love hitting. It's always harder to hit when you're pitching because your mind's all over the place. But it makes it easy too when you have guys like we have. I mean, Fishy hit 2 moonshots in that last game. It just takes so much pressure off of everybody else. We can just go up and swing easy, and it's just fun.
All right, one last question before we let you go off and celebrate.
Yeah.
The tough part about the HRL is that it's a Thursday night. What's the celebration like going to be? Do we do tonight? Are we going hard? Or are we waiting for the Friday night to really get after it?
Well, the hot rumor is we might be going up to Racks up the road.
Racks?
For a couple beers, and then we might take it back to our kind of home territory and get a Cowboy Jack so the Uber home's a little less expensive, and maybe have a couple cherry bombs tonight.
All right, hey Chris, congratulations once again.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, that has been the 2023 coverage of the HRL World Series. Season 20 officially has a bow put on it for Nippy. I'm A. Jizz. Grasshoppers come away 4-0 series sweep, winning games 3 and 4 tonight after 1 and 2 on Monday night. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you for HRL year 21